Welcome all of you. This is our webinar, Finance Your Art, in the frame of Together project. And Together is a partnership of 4 partners in the frame of Creative Europe, which is the program of the European Union to finance art and artistic collaborations. And we are here, all the partners, Inspiral Circus Center from Hungary, Budapest, the Hungarian Juggling Association. We have Monokiklo from Greece. We have Kiev Circus Academy from Ukraine, and Culture and Movement from France, represented by Alban Varet, who was our artistic director. I wish you a great and fruitful webinar. Our aim with this meeting today is that you can learn from our experience. You can learn about Creative Europe project. You can see the possibilities and opportunities, how you can have money for your own project. And you also can have breakout rooms just to have personal conversation with us. And this is all of it is because we would like that you apply for a Creative Europe project with the next deadline, maybe already in January. And then you can also realize your dream as we did it with the Together project. So in the program, our first presenter today is Gábor Mondik from Creative Europe desk in Hungary. Thank you, Gábor, so much that you accepted our invitation.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I think it's very, very valuable, and you can give a huge support to all of us who is here today, because I remember when I was writing this project, I was calling you every week and asking my question, and you were like so open to answer them, and it was really, really a huge support so that we could prepare a project which was a winner in this year. So please, Gábor, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, I'm really happy that I could help you and that you could become a beneficiary. And I would like to first then inform everybody that there is a Creative Europe desk in all of your countries if you are a member of the Creative Europe program. So do not hesitate to contact my colleagues in your country who are very happy to give you information on the program. But now I will tell you, I won't say all about it, just, around in 20 minutes, I try to, be very concise about the different calls or the opportunities that you can reach throughout this program. And now I will share my screen and begin the presentation. So I hope to see it. So Creative Europe. Creative Europe is the framework program of the European Union. And as you may know, there are these 7-year-old periods with 7-year-old budgets. And this is now the 2021-2027 7-year-old period. And we really hope that it will continue beyond this period as well. So first, the key players. I was telling you about the Creative Europe desks. So we are here to assist you in the application process. However, we are not allowed to write your applications. You have to do that on your own. But we are here to help you interpret the code document, writing the budget, writing the application form. And Creative Europe is a direct fund, as we call it. So you are in contact with you make a contract directly with one of the executive agencies of the European Commission, which is called Araya. So if you are a beneficiary, then everything is done with this executive agency. Okay, about the budget. So it's almost 2.5 billion euros for the 7-year period, which at first can seem as a huge amount, But if I tell you that it's 0.15% of the whole 7-year-old period budget of the European Union, and around 4% of the European workforce works in the culture and creative industries, then you see that it's not so much at all. But still, it's very important for the sector. Creative Europe is one of the smallest programs of the European Union. So it has 3 strands. I'm going to tell you about the culture strand, but there is media, which is the support mechanism for the film and the audiovisual sector. And of course, there is a cross-sectoral strand. And now we are supported, for example, the Creative Europe desks are supported from this cross-sectoral strand. And also there are calls for journalistic partnerships as well now in the program. So as for the culture strand, let's begin with some inspirations. So at the bottom right corner, there is the Creative Europe project results platform. Oh, I think I didn't mention that the presentation will be shared with all of you, so you can click on all the links if you want. Maybe Ben Degus, can you share it now in the chat? So as if you would like to, like at the moment, you can click on all the links that's in the presentation.
I put in the link. Yeah, I put in the link right now in the.
Thank you very much. So in the bottom right corner, there is this project results platform, which is a database of all the beneficiaries, all the projects that got funding previously in Creative Europe. So I think it's a very good place to search for projects because I can tell you all about the different criteria of the calls. But if you look at beneficiaries, then you can have the gist of what this support is all about, what the projects can be about. And with the top right corner, we have 2 publications with Hungarian interviews with Hungarian beneficiaries from the previous 2014-2020 period, and it's a bilingual publications, so you can read about projects with Hungarian participation. Okay, so about the different calls. First, networks, which I'm not going to talk a lot about. There is a lot of information on the slides, but I won't read out everything. You can read it later. Just want to mention it because networks are really important places of making partnerships. So if you don't apply as a network, because only huge networks can apply. For example, here you can see the logo of Circo Strada, which is a huge network in your area, in the circus, which is a beneficiary of the network call at the moment. But networks are important for you, or could be important for you, because of partnerships, because most of the projects is based on partnerships. And first, when you enter international projects, first maybe you don't have international partners, and you can go then to these networks which can help you to get international partners. The next one is platforms, which is also something very structured call, and it's all about supporting emerging artists. And also there is a platform now that it's supported. It's Circus Next. It's called Circus Next in the field of your sector, circus. But it should be a huge consortium, so it should be at least 12 organizations working together. So it's I would say it's not the entry-level call, but if you have previous experience, I think maybe is something to consider. from the, let's put it this way, classic calls. This is the most popular, let's say, and with the biggest budget. It's called European Cooperation Projects. This year, you can apply only for small and medium scale projects, but there is the larger scale cooperation projects, which will be opened next year and then biannually. So this is a new thing. I think I will talk about this a little bit more in detail in the coming slides. So if you look at this slide, you can see some buzzwords, and they are very broad. If you look at the objectives or the priorities, it's not very concrete. So like innovation or social inclusion, digital, international dimension, but it's up to you as applicants to fill it, all these words, to fill it with very concrete things that you would like to do in a project. And of course, there are these cross-cutting issues. So these are very important because no matter what your project is about, you have to deal with these cross-cutting issues, namely inclusion and diversity, gender equality, and greening or sustainability. Okay, this is the categories. So you have to apply at least with 3 partners for the smaller scale, and at least with 5 partners for the medium scale. And here you can see all the different grant amounts and co-financing percentages. Okay, the award criteria. Let's get a little bit more in detail of that. I wouldn't read out loud the whole slide, but I would like to emphasize some keywords, which I think it's very important to understand. So in the first award criteria, relevance, European added value. So your project has to have a European added value. So it mustn't just be about yourself and like to promote yourself as an artist, but it has to be a cooperation, a real cooperation, which has a European added value. It's also very important to target a problem and to have a very good needs analysis. What are you aiming for? What are the needs that you want to target? In the quality of content and activities, the methodologies, it's very important. What it means, it's not enough just to write down what you would like to do, but it's very important to write down why you would like to do it, how you would like to do it, and why do you think that with these methods you can achieve best your goals. Target groups, of course, very important. Who is your project? Who you want to reach with your project? Of course, in project management, cost effectiveness, and of course the sustainability of your project. In this case, it's not the greening sustainability, but your medium and long-term effects and impacts of your project, which is very important because now it's a very project management and impact oriented goal. All of the calls in Creative Europe. So about eligibility. So to be able to apply for the cooperation projects call as a coordinator, this is very important. If you are a coordinator, you must have at least 2 years legal existence. So natural persons cannot apply for this scheme. And also here you can find on this link all the participating countries, which is around 40 at this time. But hopefully the number of participating countries will grow. So about the budget. This is very important. Oh, sorry. So it's very important that this scheme and also platforms and networks as well has this special customized lump sum based budget, which is special because at the time of application you have to base your costs on actual costs. So you do your budget as you would normally do. But if you get selected, then they will fix your costs. They will make lump sums according to work packages, which are the subunits of your project, according to work packages and partners, and these amounts will be fixed. And after your actual costs won't be checked. So if you deliver the goals of your project or the outputs, your outcomes, if you deliver them, then you will get the funding. If you don't deliver them, then they will decrease your funding. But there is no financial audit anymore. Even your reporting is like a professional report, not a financial report. Yes, so here's a little bit about work packages with deliverables. These are very important now. So I emphasize this very much because that's the only thing that you should concentrate your impact, your outputs, your outcomes, the results of your project professionally. And it doesn't matter how much euro and euro cents do you spend on your different work packages anymore. Okay, again, I mentioned partner search when I was talking about networks, but we can help you also as Creative Europe Desk. If you are looking for partners, we can help you. And also on the pages of the calls, you can find a section with the partner search where you can upload your data. Okay, so about the extra calls that were introduced from 2021. So there is Music Moves Europe for the music sector, and there is Perform Europe for all the other performing arts sectors, including circus. And there is this special call called Culture Moves Europe, which is the only call where natural persons can apply. So and also there is this special call for the support of Ukrainian culture and creative sectors. There are open calls with all these calls. The European Commission decided not to have contracts on its own, but there was a call for a consortia to be able to spread or to be able to make call for proposals and distribute the European Commission funds, and that's what these calls are all about. So about first the Culture Moves Europe call. It's an individual mobility scheme. It supports a residency program of artists and cultural professionals. So again, if you are an artist, you can apply. It's very easy to apply. It's the easiest call that you should try and apply. It's a rolling call and it's open until the 31st of May next year. But in every month there is a deadline, and after every month there is a selection process going on. And also the other call in Culture Moves Europe is for organizations who want to welcome artists or cultural professionals for residency. And for this, the deadline is the 16th of January. And for this, the budget is calculated on a lump sum basis, let's say, or as I would put it, it's something like a scholarship. So your scholarship is calculated with these numbers. So it depends how many days you spend in another Creative Europe country, by which travel means do you travel. So if you choose a greener travel option, you will get a top-up. Or if you need a visa, you will get a top-up. Or if you would like to have your family with you, you will get a top-up, and so on. And here we can see all these different top-ups and how your grant amount will be calculated. Okay, so after Culture Moves Europe, which as I said, it was an entry level. Let's say Perform Europe is now a medium level, and let's say the cooperation projects are in this context the high level that you should aim for. So with Perform Europe, now the call was opened on the 1st of December, so it's quite a new call. You can apply in 3 categories, so it's very similar to a cooperation projects call, but much more easier. You need a consortia here as well, with at least 3 different partners, and also you have similar priorities. You can see inclusion, diversity, fighting against climate change. So and with this in this scheme, 35 partnerships will be selected during 3 different calls. Now there is the first call. Next summer there is the second call, and next autumn there will be the third call. And you can see all the details at this link on the Perform Europe website. Okay, and when talking about European funding, synergies is like a very important word that you should consider as well. For example, with the Together project, it's also a very good synergy with the European Capital of Culture this year with Veszprém, and also there are other European awards or special actions that you should consider to have some synergies as well. And I hope I was clear, but of course, if you have any questions, just join me in the breakout room, and we can talk about everything. But here you can find our contacts if you'd like to contact us later. And with this, I would like to thank you all for listening to me, and thank you for the invitation again.
Thank you, Gábor. Thank you so much. I do hope that all of you who is here today could understand the language of the European calls, which is already a challenge itself. So that's why we are here together. Yeah, so I think it's my time to continue with my presentation, and this is exactly the topic what I would like to talk about. And I ask Bendegúz to help me with the presentation itself. So if you guys are ready, I'm just taking the floor and jump into the presentation about engineering the project. And I choose this word because I feel that it's a very inspiring word, whatever it means. I choose this word after Daniela Jovic, who is our project officer in Creative Europe organization at the European Union Program Administration. And she was using this word, and I actually felt that this is exactly describing what we are doing when we are designing a project. So designing project, engineering project is very crucial when you wanna present an application. I'm not sure my presentation is visible, is it? It is, so maybe
Yes.
it's only me who cannot see it, because I actually cannot. But that's okay, because I'm supposed to know what's there. So, engineering a project, and then please just go on the next slide. Because for me, engineering, it means to create a harmony, which means to create a strategy between me and the call itself. And this is about to create a win-win situation. Because it would be very, very naive to think that my goal is exactly the same goal as the European Union or whoever is financing the call. It is exactly the same. So actually the challenge it is that what I would like to do, what I would like to create, what is my goal, how can it go together, and how can it go to the exact same direction as the call it wants itself. Please, the next slide. Bendegus. Yes, thank you. And as dialogue was a very important word in the Together project, I think this is also very much about a dialogue, which I'm doing with a call. So when we talk about, for example, the Creative Europe project, it has a call. I don't exactly know how long it is. I guess it's between like 50 to 100 pages. So I suggest you to read it all. And maybe you think that it's just like loads of paper, loads of document, but honestly, I read every word of it. And you also need to be able to listen to what is written there. And also you need to be generous because, as we said, is always creating a win-win situation. So it is already a collaboration which is starting between, let's say, the Creative Europe project in this case, and my organization. So I need to read it, I need to understand it, I need to listen to the words, and every word has its meaning. So, for example, it's very important to understand the terminology of the text, and I would say that reading a call, it's already like speaking another language. We need to learn and practice and start to speak the language like the project languages, because it is always using loads of words, like as learning a foreign language, we really need to learn these words as well. So when Gábor was saying European added value is like 3 words, which I don't know if it makes sense for the first to anybody, but there is like a whole word behind it. So it's very important to understand what this expression, what is the terminology, and what does it mean exactly. We also use like all these words, dissemination. So dissemination, again, there is a whole word behind it, and we need to really investigate and understand what the project call would like to see under the part of dissemination. Also about sustainability, as Gábor was also mentioning, and especially every call has its own terminology. For example, the work packages or the lump sum. So these are like words we actually don't use at all in the everyday life, especially in circus. It's not a word which is specifically interesting for us. But when we read the call, it's important that we kind of learn the project language and we start to speak it and we start to understand how to use it, what does it mean, and how can I reflect on it. Also, please, let's go to the next slide. So when I say engineering a project, I mean to design a project which is about like reading, reflecting, and adapting. So when I'm reading the call, which is about 100 pages, and I want to read every word of it, because every word has its meaning, every word has a purpose. So I need to understand what is the purpose of it. I need to reflect on it, and I need to adapt my ideas so that they are really in harmony with what the call is aiming. And then I can make myself to the question, how much does my idea match that goal and the objectives of the goal? So it's like, is it 100% match? Probably not. And then the question, like, until what percentage I can go down and still apply for this goal? Because I know that some people, they see the goal, they see the priorities of the goal, and then they see like, okay, this is talking about like, let's say, greening, and they would like a legal entity, and they would like that 3 partners is doing so. More or less, I can involve one partner. I have some idea about greening, and maybe I have nothing else which is matching the goal. So like that's a very low level of matching. And I think as much the percentage is high, as more I have a possibility that I will win this project. So I do suggest that you apply for a call which you can match the priorities, and you can match the objective of the call, something like near to 100%, but as higher the percentage, as better you have the chances. Me personally, I never apply for something which is not matching all of the priorities, because then I fear that it's not written for me, it's for somebody else. And of course, other people is also applying for the course. So why would I take a competition where I actually have a very low percentage to win? It's not for me. So I just propose to apply for that kind of call which is for you, or if it is not for you, you can still reflect and adapt your dreams, because for the first reading, for sure, it's never going to be 100% match. So that's about designing and engineering. And also, I really suggest to give a time to build a strategy, because you have many factors listed in the call, and you have a dream in your head, or at least me, usually I have a dream in my head when I start to write an application, and all of this has to arrive to that win-win position when the call is reflected, let's say 100%, and also my dream can come true as much as is possible. Please, the next slide, which is exactly about cooking your soup. So since I like to cook, I just really feel that this is very much like cook a soup, because we have loads of ingredients, and of the same ingredients you can prepare very different kind of foods. You can prepare depending on how you mix them, what kind of spice you put on, and also of the amount of the different ingredients. If you put some ingredients more, then it will be a different food at the end of the day than if you put a different kind of proportion. So when I tell to you to cook your soup, it's exactly about the designing and the engineering. So you look at your ingredients, and then you try to mix it as much possibly matching the goal and also your dream. And just like 3 things, which is very much important, the partnership, because definitely you will be together for a long time, at least 1 year, maybe longer, sometimes smaller project less, but you need to have a trust, a confidence, and you have to remember that we have so many cultural differences, and it's like, a relationship. So without your partners, you cannot do the project, and with your partner, you need to work on your relationship, and you have to develop a confidence, and you have to develop a dynamic of work and a common understanding. The same for the activities, and why I was writing, for me, the most important is that the activity you plan in that project, I think, is the most important, that it contributes to your daily work, which means that a project for me is never a separated project. The project is something which I actually wanted to do already, or at least is contributing at a high level to that exact exercises and daily work I'm doing, and I'm trying to integrate to the daily work of the organization. Also, because it's very important that on long term, I can keep the project results only if they are fitting my activity, my plans, and my daily functioning. And also because many projects, even if it's 100%, we always dream bigger, and we always like to put more and more ingredients, let's say lots of spices, and this all cost money. So if it is really in harmony with my activity, then I'm happy to invest more in this project and grow it even bigger than it was planned. The next slide, please. And the budget. So the budget, I think, is like something people very much get afraid of it usually. And it's maybe just because they imagine something much more difficult than it is. For me, a budget is just numbers put in a good order. And I know that I'm economist and I love numbers and I love to play with numbers. But still, please consider that numbers are your friends, and budget is an amazing thing, because you can describe the whole project you have just in one page. So like how many times you go somewhere, and how much does it cost, and how many people is participating, and you multiply it, that's actually the budget itself. So, and it also describes the project itself. So you can consider it as an easy language to describe it. You can consider it as a language which talks on the language of the numbers. And also, I suggest to make it in parallel with the strategy building. So for me, first is always the imagination and the dream of the activities. And then I try to translate them into numbers. And after I translated them into numbers, I will see something realistic, and maybe I have to change my plan. And then I can go into details, because usually when we write down all the prices and we were investigating how much something is cost and put it on a paper, then usually we realize, hopefully not always, that okay, it's much more money than the budget allows it. So then I have to start to play with it. And then it helps a lot to have an Excel format, and then you can change, like, okay, maybe my activity cannot host like 10 artists as I wanted, but maybe I can have 6 artists. So if you use an Excel format, and then you can just put in like how many people going somewhere, use the lump sums. Lump sum is always that you use an average. So you just use an average, and you can play and change the factors until you arrive somewhere which is fitting into the frame set by the call. And of course, we have to sacrifice and compromise many times, or redesign the budget itself. So if maybe I can just suggest that you consider budgeting as something like playing with numbers, and then you can start to enjoy it. I think it's something very enjoyable. And maybe some 2 things for the end. Yes, it was great. Thank you, Bendagoose. The next slide. So think about your best friends, which means to me that whenever I design a project, I think about on my best friends. So I try to think on the budget okay, if my best friend would come, what do I need? I need to welcome that person. I need to organize this and that. So whenever I imagine a project is not something far from me, it's always I try to put exactly the person I would like to host, exactly that activity, and that helps me to really imagine every circumstances of that activity and then put real prices on it. And the last thing is think about every project together, because it's a partnership, it's a collaboration between your partners and you, it's a collaboration between the EU fund and, for in this case, the Creative Europe desk. So we have like loads of collaboration inside this, and you can collect the information, you can go to informative events, there is always a person to call. So just don't stay alone, think about together. So thank you so much. This was my short advices on engineering a project, and you can meet me in a breakout room where we're gonna talk about networking mainly, and maybe about future plans. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just would like to compliment you, Veronika, because believe it or not, we were talking about the same things, but of course, Veronika's presentation was much more, comprehensible, how to say it. So, I was talking about, numbers with this EU jargon, and she was translating it to you, basically, to a much more easier language. So thank you very much for that.
Wow, that's a compliment. I take it. Cool. You made my day. Thank you, Gábor. And I give the word on to our next presenter, the lovely Marianthi. Please, Marianthi, take the floor.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are still with us. I hope you find this interesting. As Gábor said, and Veronika, some of these might sound like gibberish, like what is this language with lump sums and everything? And then it comes Veronika that says that numbers can be our friends and all about this like nice cooking. Within the cooking, some things need our special attention. I'm here to, let's say, to spoil it for you guys, but always in a good sense. Just a bit of a couple of pictures for what's coming. So, Bende, if you can show us just the first one picture, so that everyone is like with us again. If you feel kind of tired or something, maybe this picture will bring you back. So if we can see, this first picture is one of my associates. And yeah, so like things that can go wrong during the implementation of a Creative Europe project. We need to be prepared, okay? So this is my friend and the associate Anna. That was one of her faces during the project. And then there was another face, if we can see the other face too. And that's the other face. So anyway, it's like I'm gonna talk to you guys about difficulties, but then these difficulties are not for taking our motivation. It's just to help us be prepared that, like everything in life, even implementing a project like a Creative Europe project, which means living your dream, like we were saying, cannot be all like flowers and happiness. Okay, so thank you for sharing, Ben the Goose. I hope people are back with me. So I will also take you like a step by step. So let's go to writing the application, okay? Like Veronika said, and Gábor, you can look for your sources, study, and start, writing. I would say consider the competition, okay? A lot of projects are being written and applied that are considered high quality, which means that competition with creative projects is already high, okay? So a lot of them have been labeled as high quality. And what I think is that, of course, you will need like your nice team, you're being together, and the nice work that you've been doing with designing and everything. Just put an extra effort to spice up your application. Like Veronika says, to find the 100 match. Yeah, as if it was like this Tinder kind of matching, or any kind of matching for different tastes. And then this, of course, needs time, okay? And time also means money. I mean, like monthly hours of working, okay? So please be prepared. Once again, this is not for ruining the procedure, just to be prepared that time and money will be an issue even when you're writing an application. And not all your applications, not all our applications will be approved, okay? So be ready that some of the applications may end up in the drawer, so that maybe you can use them at a different time, okay? On a different call. So like Veronika said, maybe it wouldn't be the match. But this time and effort, please consider it as a really valuable experience, and as a way also to boost your creativity. When you're writing a project, all this time that you're putting, it's your creative mind that it's behind and is trying to find the right words and to make the budget our friends and all of these things. But really, some of the applications may not be approved. Of course, this is not our goal, but just be prepared for that. Well, I have my share of this. Veronika has had her share of this, and a lot of people that have already made applications within this group. I'm sure we've all had our share for this, that, well, some of our applications were just not approved. But once we are in, okay, and let's say we are in whatever different calls we want to be, okay? So as far as I see this group of the people I know, or of like what you wrote about yourselves, we have individual artists, we have people coming from organizations or from networks. So if you decide to apply with Culture Moves Europe as an individual, or with Perform Europe, or with the European cooperation projects, you can be in with all this effort and preparation. What happens next? Please be ready that there's not a very wide window of adaptation, okay? So let's say you have an idea, you write about it, and it gets approved. Yeah, your proposal is approved. And then along the way, as you're implementing your project, you realize, oh shit, like maybe there would be another way for me to do this. Well, not. Once you have signed your contract, yeah, not a lot of adaptations can be made. And this can be a bummer, because time passes and we evolve. And especially as artists, yeah, we always rethink things. But keep in mind that your contract requires you to implement what you have said that you will do. And if this proposal was accepted, then there must have been a very good reason for it. So try to think about that and keep on doing what you said you will do. So what else? Yeah, trust your proposal, that is. And let's say now that you are in and you say, I will do what I said I will do, and then this whole thing starts. One of the main difficulties and also one of the most exciting things is, like Veronika said, being together. It's collaboration. Already, we had this webinar, and some of the people weren't sure whether it's 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock because it was Central European time. But then Central European time is different in Greece. What I'm trying to say is that you will have partners from around Europe, and that's that's the whole point for it. So you will have different cultural backgrounds. You won't speak the same language. You will have English as your bridge. You will have different culture. So an extra effort to be on the same line, like to be on the same page, will be needed. And we need to be ready for this effort because, of course, the benefits are all of this, like dreams that will be coming true. Handling the funding. So yes, number can be our friends, although for many of us artists, me included, still numbers can be like scary. So we are a grassroots level organization, okay? Monotiplo is a grassroots level organization. We don't handle many of these projects. Actually, this one was our first Creative Europe project. And to operate the funds can be challenging and can be quite stressful, okay? I believe that a strong team is needed, and definitely people that have knowledge of financial management issues. Even if you apply as a solo artist, yeah, and you don't feel comfortable with numbers, ask for help because it will be needed for you to be able to handle these funds. Because there are some restrictions in the distribution, no matter how easy it seems. Restrictions are there, and we have to follow them in order to make this good collaboration with our funders. Coordination then. How to coordinate a project or a mobility or putting up your show, all of these things that we can apply with Creative Europe. Bendegus, can we see like only like moments of the next picture just to get you guys prepared of the hours you will need to spend? So a little bit of a spoiler alert until the picture is up. Yeah. So be prepared to be in front of your computer, guys. I know we are circus people, myself included, artists. We don't already like now sitting in our chairs is already like, we want to move a bit and we want to do things. But spending time in front of the computer, it's the thing that will get everything going, yeah, from the application to the implementation. This is me and Anna actually so coordinating the actual work package. Let's use a little bit of terminology also. So the actual work package of the Elefsina actions, okay? Thank you, Bendegus. Just to have like some different image and not just me talking. We had to manage the European Capital of Culture, which was Elefsina, our different partners from the different countries. We had to manage the requests of the artists, and then we had to cooperate and coordinate from the light technicians to the B&B owners that were hosting our people, and from the social media managers to the requests of the audience. And all of this will fall in your hands when you're coordinating. Even if you do your solo act as an artist and you have your funding, still you will be in a place where you will have to coordinate with so many different people. This can be energy draining, as simple as that. Even if you are like an extrovert, it can be really like energy draining and frustrating and confusing. You need to realize how to handle all these people. Be ready for these kind of frustrations and take time for yourself, and remember all the whys, like why you're doing all of these things, and then it will come back, it will come back. Hmm, yeah, so I wrote some things down that helped me actually. Adaptability, yeah, to be adaptive in all of these situations. Agility is another word. Thinking on your feet when you have to make decisions, and you're coordinating a project and you're there and you make things happen. Yeah, thinking on your feet, decision making, and for sure, like Veronika said, have your friends close. A good production team is always needed. Um, Last but not least, because projects happen and we are there and we experience them, and then we all have this magical feeling, and then it's not over. Then it's evaluation and reporting. Please keep that in mind. Make sure you will have enough energy and time to reflect on what happened. Life moves on, project is done, we have amazing feelings, we have like all these feelings and everything that happened. The project is not done. Okay, so evaluation, please make up time and energy because you will need it. And sustainability is kind of like a difficulty for this kind of projects, but keep that in mind from the beginning. What happens after this funding ends for this project? This project goes away? No, it can be a really good like way to prepare yourself from the start to be there and try to make this project sustainable. This webinar is actually our effort to make our project sustainable, to get you guys together, to get us together, continue networking, continue sharing ideas, and see how we can move along by being together. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't scare you too much. That was not my intention, but we really needed a reality check for implementing this kind of projects.
Thank you so much, Marianthi. I think your presentation was just putting in the light from another perspective, again, the same topic, which is great. That's why we are here. And now I give the floor to Nina, our Ukrainian partner, to talk about from another angle, again, of the project. Thank you, Nina. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Hello from Kiev Circus Academy. It was a great pleasure to participate in such a big international project, and we are very grateful for this invitation. I would share our thoughts and our feelings from this project and what challenges we faced as well. And the start is like, I would start that boundaries and exploring new territories. This is what it's all about. Mostly I would focus on the feelings of our students, the main participants who were participated in this project. Because as Academy, we were very much focused not only to be involved as an Academy, but also what experience it would give to them to be a part of this big project. So for the students of the Academy, it was a huge experience because we're known for our rich traditions and classical training methods. And the opportunity to participate in an international contemporary circus project was both thrilling and also eyes-opening. It marked a significant departure from their familiar routine and a chance to embrace the whole new world of creativity and innovation. I would also wanted to share the screen with you and to share the presentation, a small presentation that I prepared, because when we are talking about the Kyiv Circus Academy and the traditions, this is what I meant. This is what I mean about. It's a very typical, picture of what do we usually do. And stepping out of tradition, it meant to us to see absolutely different location, which is this. So this was one of the challenges for us. Like when we started to collaborate together, we found out that the performances cannot be not only inside in the circus or on the stage, but it could be everywhere. And this is about the dialogue, how we communicate with a big audience and with the smallest one, when we are stepping on their territory, and how do we feel about it? How do people feel about that? So stepping in a long-standing heritage of circus arts, our academy has been renowned for it. We renowned, and we were presenting like in different techniques, but however, circus invitation and participating together in their international contemporary circus project presented a unique challenge and an opportunity to break free from our accustomed routine. This is what we are talking, that the playground for kids became our stage, and how we were working with that. Also, another challenges that we had this we were not prepared for, like that a human factor. How do we feel? How do we communicate? What emotions do we have? I remember very good after the days of being in Greece and experience absolutely different working methods, different production methods. The students were so confused, they were feel so lost. And when we were messaging to each other in the chat, their emotions were mostly look like that. But of course, that was definitely a new experience for all of us. And the students eagerly to change, to step outside their comfort zone and explore the realm of contemporary circus, with an open mind and hunger for new knowledge. They also find their journey, and they were learning and adapting to different unconventional techniques and artistic expressions that define contemporary circus. And this is the image of our last show in Greece, when there were a lot of people who came and that we were gathering together. And I think this shows really deeply how was it, and what feelings do we all have, feelings of that we are all united, that we are doing this for people and we are doing this together. And I remember very good the emotions after that. Everybody was celebrating. They were so much inspired, and they were so much happy with this experience. So at the very end, I wanted to say that as the project unfolded, the Ukrainian students found themselves immersing in an environment that encouraged experimentation, fusion of art forms, innovative approaches to perform. We're exploring different methods, aerial acrobatics, to blend in dance and theater elements, They also deserve new avenues and also self-expression and artistic collaboration. So this was our Ukrainian experience for the academy, for the students. But we are so happy that it had happened exactly this way to us. So again, we're very grateful for this interesting experience for Ukrainian side. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina, for sharing with us. And yeah, you just made me remember all those talks in Greece every day to analyze, like, are the guys understanding what is happening, if it's frightening them, if they like it, if they want to come back the next day or not at all. So it was a huge experience. And also, I think it was a great transformation for them. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So, at this point, I would like to thank to all of the presenters to share their presentation in this frontal part. And we are optionally, actually, this is the moment to see the LF Cine film. And I actually feel that maybe this is the moment that we jump in the breakout room as well. I just maybe don't have the sense if we need more to have a small cafe, a small break, or anyway, the butterfly part in the breakout room is possible. I think I asked Bendaguz as our tech host, is it possible to play the film parallelly to the breakout rooms?
Yes, it's absolutely possible, but we have one more really important thing. You know, the group picture, yes.
Photo.
The photo time. So we are really here. So I would like to encourage everybody to put on your camera, whoever wants it, of course. And we will make a nice group picture because we are a really big, nice group. And yes, and I would like to have a fun moment, a real circus style moment when we do some nice things together. And okay, people are coming. Cool. Yeah, I put my finger. Oh, someone wants to join. Come on, here you go. Yeah, so everybody's here who has the camera on. And for the first picture, I would like to see everybody's pointing towards someone else. Okay, so you can point up, down, wherever you want. Yeah, okay, because we are together and we want to show it. Yes, really nice. Okay, 3, 2, 1, cheese. Yes, okay, I put the picture in, it word out, I save it. Okay, and for the next picture, I would like to have everybody, yes, grabbing a prop around you, like I have used banana or whatever. And yeah, grabbing a prop and put it in on your face, in front of you, on your shoulder, wherever you want. Yeah. Okay, I have the banana. The banana is a really funny thing. Okay, so, oh, you have a hula hoop. Wow, blesses everything. Okay, 3, 2, 1, group picture. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Armin, very much. Veronika, do you have an idea?
Very surprised face.
Surprise face. This looks amazing. Yeah, really surprise face. You can even act like this if you want. I can act only with one hand. So 3, 2, 1, surprise! Okay. I was even a little bit scared. Okay, anyone has an idea?
But everyone is reacting, eh? That's so cool.
Very lovely face. Loving each other face. It has to happen.
Yes, of course, a lovely face. Okay. 3, 2, 1, love. Okay. Even we hear some children from Uganda. Yeah, cool. This makes us laugh. Okay. Yeah. So, and otherwise, then we are ready to broadcast the LF Cinema movie, right? What is the plan for that? So we will.
Okay. So this moment we make you feel in the movie. We just screen the first small movie we made in July. In the meantime, you can have your coffee break and tea break, change the water in and out, and then as soon as the film finish, you find us in the breakout room. And if you don't know how to enter a breakout room, Bendaguz is going to be always here to support you to find it. So that's our program, and then it will be a cinema after the breakout rooms as well. So use the opportunity. We're gonna have 3 breakout rooms after for networking and meeting and talking about your organization. 1 breakout room with Gábor if you have any practical question about the administration or the conceptual questions of Creative Europe and the other funds. And also a 3rd room with collecting good advices and any practices for projects with Marianthi. And now I invite you, probably you could have a small rest, and we opened already the breakout room. Yeah, sorry, it took for me a time to find this room. It was not easy. So I thought that we can start this networking with some short presentation. So everybody can just say maybe like a half minute, 1 minute about who you are and of your organization. So we understand who we are in this room. And I'm so happy to see you here, some of you I haven't met for a while. So maybe I just start in case, because actually I didn't present it myself at the webinar. So I'm the president of the Hungarian Juggling Association, and we had like many, mainly Erasmus Plus projects in the last 20 years. And actually the first project we had, it was with Espai de Cirque in 2001, I think, or 2, and then we continued to be like very strategic partner for a while. So I pass the words on to whoever wants to take the words.
I take.
Yeah, come on.
Because I'm part of Spider Cirque, that association that Veronika was mentioning from Valencia in Spain. And yes, I'm working in the association from the last 3 years, and we lost the track a little of the European projects. So we want to be back in this wheel, and yes, I'm very grateful of meeting you. Thank you, Veronika, for inspiring a lot. And
thank you,
yes.
Juan. Nikos, we are just, because you just arrived, we are just going a circle and everybody say some words of themselves so we know who we are. And it was me and Juan so far. So whoever wanna take the words, please.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Stylianos from Thessaloniki. I'm representing 3 things. One, Monokyklo. I'm new in Monokyklo, so I'm only 3 months in Monokyklo and I'm still learning. The other project that I'm representing is a networking in Thessaloniki specifically. We call it ArtNet Thessaloniki, and we try to develop and bring the cultural activity of Thessaloniki into more focus, and also to find ways to communicate with the state so that the state can support Thessaloniki's artistical activities. And the third one is a personal project of mine, which had to do again with I was managing an old building that was a heritage, that is a heritage in Thessaloniki, an old historical building, where I was hosting cultural and artistical activities. I don't like labels, but more of underground and alternative artistical activities. And the building was so magnificent in a way, so it would bring all the underground cultural activity into the light. And this is what I like to do. I like to bring out things that are more hidden culturally. And I'm also a performer, so I try to communicate all these things.
Thank you. Please go on. Who would like to say some words, or please do say some words. Who you are.
Hello, my name is Nikos, and I am from Patras, Greece. Wait, because the light came better like this. I am from Patra, Greece. I am a member of ex-Saltibagos company here in Patra. I'm an artist, and we have a space here in Patras. We have a small circus school, like a social center, I would like to call it more. And since this September, we might have the management of a theater also. So we are into a new world. We are looking forward to have a new collaborations, and that's all for now.
Thank you, Nikos. Luca, you just arrived, so this is the networking room, and we are going around now, like, just to know who is who. And please take the words. Somebody.
Hi, I'm Sean Lang. Originally, I'm actually from the United States, but I am based here in Aio, Greece, with my wife, Maria. I'm a circus artist, and so this is all very new for me here. I actually have the pleasure of knowing Nikos, so network already established. But I'm primarily a juggler amongst many other ground-based circus acts. And I think that's all I have to say, though I'm also open to answering questions because I'm kind of an oddball here.
But where are you based now?
In this, well, actually, I'm in a village in Greece called Rizomylos, but we're right outside the city of Aio. Yeah, it's about like 45 minutes from actually where Nikos is in Patras. So, a bit away.
Excellent. Yeah, everybody likes sunny Greece. That's without, that's for sure. Cool. Please, somebody take the words.
I can introduce. Hello. My name is Nina. I'm from Ukraine. I'm working at the Kiev Municipal Academy of Circus and Performing Arts. And also I'm a founder of the charitable foundation for development of Ukrainian art. And right now I'm located in Spain, in Torrevieja, so it's not far away from Valencia. So I would be also happy maybe to discuss some collaborations as well. So it's just a short information about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. I think, Luca, you are the one we are all eager to know about.
Hi, I'm Luca. I'm from Hungary. I'm actually at Inspira right now. And I'm a dancer originally, but in the last 4 or 5 years, I don't know, sucked into circus somehow. And what I'm interested in right now is to find projects where I can use more than one things, because I don't have like one specific thing what I do all the time, but I do a lot of things and I really like to use them. And I think that's what I'm, I don't know, the best way to use many things at the same time. But it's not too easy to find projects like this. So, hi.
Cool. So maybe I just, Sophia we have. Sophia, we just going around to know who is who.
I'm eating something, that's why I closed the camera.
Please
Hello.
eat. Please feel comfortable.
Thank
You want to say some words of you while you are eating?
While I'm eating.
Just to know where you're from, maybe.
Okay, okay, this I can do it while I'm eating. I am from Greece. I'm here, yes, because I'm a member of two collective initiatives, and we try. I try with my partners to see how we can create a sustainability for our projects. So I'm really interested about ways of funding our projects. And Stelios also is a partner from one collective initiative. Okay, so I will eat now.
Please. Cool. So I was just thinking I brought some topic with me we can talk about, but also I'm very curious if you have like any specific question or any specific interest or you want to throw into this room, and then we can have it together. Somebody?
Hello again. Especially in Greece and more specifically in Thessaloniki, since we are researching this city specifically, we can say that the state in general does not support the cultural activity in Thessaloniki. So we are trying to figure out a way to make ourselves more visible towards the state supports, and try to communicate with the state supports and the municipality supports more openly. And there is also another aspect that we are not very familiar with in Thessaloniki, which has to do with residency. So we are very open to European collaborations. We already have some friends in Ireland that are mentoring us. And we are trying to figure out ways to, bring people together in order to open the Thessaloniki artistical community towards Europe.
So when you say residency, is about monokiklo?
No, I'm talking about in a more wide meaning of the word, especially for our group for our initiative that we created, that is called ArtNet Thessaloniki, and has to do with bringing out the more out of focus art groups in Thessaloniki.
Yeah, actually, what you are saying, it just makes me remember about the different levels of networking, because sometimes it's like it's just that important to have a national network level. So, for example, we in Hungary are not very much connected with other circus studios and with other circus places, in the meaning of like small circus schools, leisure circus schools. But it was always a plan to make this kind of network, because for sure, if there is a national network of the organizations together, we can reach much more, maybe even like advocacy and lobbying and at the government, and make us more visible. So, and I think Together project, it was also great from the Greek point of view, because Marianthi really tried to collect artists very much from the different part of Greece, so not have only Monokiklo to have delegated artists, but have like as an opportunity to create a Greek group, a Greek collaboration, and have a group together. And I don't know, like Nikos, you actually knew all of your Greek fellows in the project, or it gives also to you a possibility? I mean, you've been to circus already for hundreds of years, so maybe you knew everybody, but have you found that maybe Together created networking also among Greek artists? Yeah, you're mute.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I knew the most of the people, and but not so good. So it was something for me also. And now I already invited some of them to Patra to act. So yeah, it was helpful and really a nice opportunity to expand this networking for me also. Even if I knew the most of the people, it wasn't so deep, and with Together we went deeper in the in this connection. So it was really helpful for me also.
Mm. Yeah. So this national networking, I think, is very important, and I think you guys in Spain are quite good in it, no? Like you have several networks for circuses, which we don't have in. You know how to keep together, no? Juan, what is your?
Yes, I mean, sure that the circus education is not ruled in the government. If you study circus, is that as if you are studying nothing. So all the organizations in Spain are working a lot to find that right, no, to be able to work as a worker, as an artist, or as a circus teacher, as something that exists. So yes, sure that we yes or yes should be together to defend our rights. Yes, economically we don't have. I mean, every association has its own accounting and its own. There are no projects between us more than this FEXE, this federation of all of us together. There is a program of teaching circus. There is a teacher of teachers. So this is a project that we are ruling all the schools together. And yes, I think it's important to network. And I want to ask you a little, Veronika, and the people with more experience about. I think after listening Marianthi about these fears or extra energies that we are needing, sometimes we are very full already with our agenda. So to find a time to go through European partners that you don't know each other, maybe that's you met like in an application or in a video call like this, how to build the trust. You know, I want to ask you in general, because to put in the agenda to do a European project together, it's a big effort for all of us, no? So I want to ask you a little how to build that networking, that seeding, that starting. Maybe it's just magically, but
Yeah.
give us some tips about
Yeah,
networking.
and
Yes.
I think what you asking is like it's a very important thing, because we are in a project for the moment as well, where our coordinator, it was not our personal contact, and we are struggling a lot because we just were happy that we are involved in a project where we have a share of 26,000 euro, but then it was like 2 years of, I wouldn't say a nightmare, but it was really like all the time loads of stress on it, because we didn't know each other, we didn't know the expectations, it was not very clear. So it was rising loads of things during the 2 years, and and they are still haven't sent the money to us, a part of it, and so like all these things we try to avoid as much as possible when we are creating a project. And so I think it's very important that we don't shadow the human part just because we see 26,000 euro we will receive, because it's still needed to clear what is behind. For me, it's very important, the networking events and the European networks as well. And maybe we can make a small collections of this, because entering a European network, it means that we are anyway having different meetings, even digital and even personal ones. And during the years, maybe it needs 1 year or 2 years, maybe already at the first meeting, we find some nice vibe together. But for me, it's important to meet personally and have a human contact with whoever we are actually sharing the next year. And we're gonna face probably loads of administrative challenges and loads of other challenges we don't foreseen. I think actually it's funny, because with Nina, we haven't met before we created this project. So we just had a digital connection for a while, and it's very rare. But since Nina is like such a great person and very skilled and talented and really reliable, I'm not just saying because you are here, but it's like, the good size. Sometimes you find treasures even like that, but it's not always. So I do suggest the personal contacts, networking events, and European networks. And I don't know if you have, Nina, any reflection on it. How was it to enter in a project without having the relationship before?
Yes, it was a very new experience for us. Except of that challenges, what I mentioned when the project already started. Before that, we were in a process of knowing each other and knowing the concept of the idea of the concept applying for the grant. And I remember how Veronika contacted me and invited to participate in the project. And I was very much impressed with this and very honored, actually. It's not every day when people are inviting somebody who they don't know very well into the project. And you feel a big responsibility. Okay, so we've never did it before. So what we're supposed to do? What is our next steps? How we can help? How we can find this common dots between each other? Because we're not only from different countries, we've never met before, but we also have a very different schools, and we have very different experiences. Like, for instance, from our side, from Ukraine, we had students who are not professional artists yet, right? So how to implement them into the project? Can they do that? Can they manage it? Because it's not only about your professional skills, but it's also about your how they can communicate, how can they understand other people, how they can understand the conception of what it's needed, and get this idea work with this idea, you know, so it was many different steps for us. We also were facing a little bit of, through this application process, the documents process, because we also found out that our academy cannot apply, you know, so it's also a lot of technical issues. That's why we found out another project, a partner from Ukraine, which is a charitable foundation, who was also became a part of this project. So with step by step, we were facing different problems, and we were trying to find the solution on it when we are already in the middle of the process. And it was interesting. And it's still not over, so we're in a process.
Yeah. And it's really great you mentioned the other organization, because I think it's very important who is our contact and who we are talking to, because there are many bigger organizations, so maybe we are talking to a person and then that person is very nice, we establish a great human relationship, but that person is not a decision maker in the organization, and then one day is just maybe change the work, change something, or we don't even have with the boss, let's say, a relationship. So but that person is taking decision obviously on the organization. So I think it's very important whenever we have a partnership, the best when we know the decision maker and then the person who is involved in the project at a coordination level. The best is when these two persons is the same, because then we can go very, very easily and very fast. But for example, I can just tell you some, like in this case, it was great because Nina was always organizing everything and solving the problem. And I know that behind the scenes, she was like really struggling with the organization and the decision maker we actually have the partnership with. Or I can say another example, which is with Juan. We had a project together with in our partnership called EduCircation. And 1 year we passed on to the German partner to be the coordinator, and the project was accepted. The project was a winner. We got like, I don't know, 200,000 euro. It was like a big thing for 5 partners of us. And then that person who was our coordinator quit the company, and the company decided not to keep the project. So we all lost the project and we lost the money because the coordinator and the boss of the coordinator decided not to keep the project. And whatever I tried to do to take over the project or to keep it, we just couldn't. So it's, I think in networking is always important to know in the name of who the person is talking and who is the decision maker. And if there is 2 different person decision maker and the operative person, then the best if we know both of them. Also, this is happening now with this other project we are just finishing with our partner from Cyprus, that we had a project coordinator, we made the application, we won, and then during the 2 years we have another 5 project coordinator. I can't even remember the name of the person anymore. So it's just changing all the time. And whenever I'm asking for like, guys, where is our money? We have already spent it like a half a year ago, what you need to transfer to us. I don't know who to ask it from, and there is somebody, the boss in the back, but I actually hardly can reach it. And so it's like, I think in networking, this is very important, or in project designing. If you have something to share about any experience, please do it. And also we can go to the European networks just to collect some and networking events, so you can use it for your objectives. Something to share?
I have a small story to share as well. Your experience exactly reminded me my previous experience when I established the foundation. We already made a project, so we won a small grant to make an event with the Ukrainian students and also with German artists in Lviv State Circus. And we were very happy that this is happening. They had a small tour around the cities, and the gala show supposed to be in the circus. So this is the partners whom we found from another partners, basically from through our friends we know already. And the horrible thing was very stressful. It's not only when you're meeting people and it's about the human factor, but it's also about the money, because you're signing contracts, and they already made an event in the circus, and they left, but the money still didn't come. So the thing is that it wasn't nobody's fault. They were just frozen in some bank, transit bank, from where the money were coming to Ukraine. And you also need to bear in mind, in the case if you are doing some sort of this project, so you're as an application have a financial responsibility. So you need to also be prepared to cover the costs if it needed, for instance, or to make another arrangements, another negotiations to say, like, we can pay, but in a month, for instance, or later, or something like that. So it's a lot of unpredictable things happening while you are establishing these collaborations, this project. So you need to be ready for different things: human factor, financial factor, many others. But everything went well, so everything worked well. Yeah.
I have a question actually concerning this, because I think in all of our lives, money is very important in being paid for work that we're doing. And when you're doing a large project like this, because I know that my wife, she runs a nonprofit here in Greece that works with creative arts with youth called Creative Youthland. And we've actually experienced very similar stories as to what you both shared, where partners drop out or funds don't arrive. And what I'd like to ask from many of you that are working in this field and working with grants, and knowing that the money is not always guaranteed. Sorry, the money is not is pardon me for the money sometimes is there, but you're not sure. How do you plan and sustain yourselves and your organizations around that kind of that kind of, my words are not coming to me. This is my first language, and I have a hard time, so please. Oh gosh, what are my words today? So it's going to take me a while to get through this. The financial landscape, whatever, that's what I'm going to use. Financial landscape is uncertain. You don't know about the money, and you're also receiving the money much later in the future. Sometimes you get packets of it up front to use for the project, but how does it then sustain the people that are working for your organization? Or if you're an individual, how is that then used to pay for cost of living? Because as organizations, when you're doing all of the management work, as artists doing the performance and creation, we're living and we are spending money. And so this is work. This is work. It's not a charitable thing. We are getting funds to do this work for the government, for Europe. And I'm wondering how is that balanced at the end of that we want to put the money into creating the project that goes back out to everyone, but the organization, individuals, etc., they need to take care of themselves. It doesn't sound like a single project is something that can sustain a single person, because it takes many people to work on a project. And so what's
Yeah,
the
I
balance?
think
Do you need a lot of projects in order to get that together? Is it has to be mixed with other gigs, other work from outside?
yeah, I
What does
think
it
so.
take?
What you are asking is something very important, because actually we have to be prepared financially also to finance a project, because many times actually not 100% financed the project by the program. So, and even if it's 100% financed, we finally find out other costs. And also we get sometimes 1 year or 1.5 years later the 20%, so the last installment. So it's a yes. The bad news is that we need to finance the project. We have to have a couple of €1,000 in our pocket to be able to finance until the money arrives, and also to be able to finance until the last installment is arriving. So yes, bad news, and it is true.
But do you then take the work that is being created for this and you, let's say, like charge for events in order to finance get those funds out? So you use the framework of this grant.
I think at the beginning we were just working for free for a while until either you can have some money you put in, like actual money you have on your bank account, and then you can create a bridge between the two moments when the money arrives and when you already have to start to pay the costs. And the other is when you are actually putting your own salary to the end of the project. So you just get your money and maybe as much money as possible, but usually is your own salary at the last moment when the final financement, the final installment is arriving. So yes, we have to be strong financially. As big the project is, as stronger we need to be financially and put an own contribution, or at least some money for giving a credit. But for example, in Erasmus Plus, you find 100% financement, and then you can have a smaller scale of projects. So that's why many European calls has like small scale ones, and then you actually enter to other levels when you have like more a more stable situation, and also already experience how to coordinate such projects.
So you'd probably say that the Creative Europe Fund and all of this, it's really geared towards larger arts organizations that have people working on multiple projects at a time. And it might be a little more difficult. I mean, I know that in the presentations, there was some talk about a solo artist applying for certain things. And I just wonder, is it even feasible in the reality of how these projects are quite large in scope and they require multiple partners?
I do suggest you also to be a member of a network and also to go to these networking events. And I think Gábor just mentioned a smaller scale project, cultural move on culture, or what was that, which is totally available for individuals. Maybe we need to go back to the main room because the other groups are already there. And we can also ask it from Gábor again, because he wanted to mention, and that's actually a good project for individual artists as well, and you can apply, and that's not for organizations, but for you as an artist yourself. That could be an interesting thing. Wow, 60 seconds we have. Guys,
Yeah, I am closing, so please come back to the main room.
Okay, so hi. I don't know which way we should go. For me, Susanna is here, so please, Susanna, ask your question, or what would you like to hear about more? Was everything clear in my presentation?
Hello. Yeah, I had one question regarding the individual mobility for artists. If it's somehow linked to the residency places. If you, as an artist, want to travel and use this mobility, if you have to go to a residency, or if it's even possible to apply for a residency and combine these two, or not.
Okay, yes. So you mean to participate in the part of the call which is the residency action, and as well participate in the other one, in the individual mobility call as well?
Yes.
That's your question.
If it's linked or if it's not, and
no. So basically, in the individual mobility, you can choose whatever organization and even whatever artist you would like. So the main thing is that you get, let's say, an invitation letter from that organization or from that artist or cultural professional, and then you must go abroad. So you must travel to another Creative Europe country to basically do anything, whatever you like, because the priorities are like something like explore, share, create. So it's very basic. The application is on the Goethe Institute portal. Is the easiest one, and there basically you should write down what you would like to do with your partner that you are going to travel to, and then basically that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue with Sophie.
Yes, hello. I was already considering to apply for this Culture Moves Europe with a small residency program, and I was wondering, like, is it possible to apply for multiple organizations, or it's a one-on-one program?
The rule is like you should go to one place, stay there with one organization. So it's like you must travel abroad, but then you should be there during your whole residency.
I mean, rather that can I mean the bigger program, but it's the residency action. Is it like between, like, you can invite people, right? Is it like organizing?
Yeah, if you apply as an organization for the residency action, then you should be able to invite artists for a mobility, and then you should be able to provide them with necessary accommodation, provide them with mentoring, and provide everything that they need during their residency. So that's one step ahead. But if you are asking about individual mobility, you just have to choose any organization on any artist that will invite you.
Mm-hmm. I was interested in the residency action, and I was wondering if it can be a program where you have like multiple organizations, and that you have like a mentoring program for a creation that they I don't know, travel to multiple organizations for in different times for different residencies, or if it's just like for one residency. That is, I couldn't formulate the question right. I think. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're interested in the residency action, of course, if you apply as an organization for the residency action, it's basically it's impossible to have everybody at your residency at the same time. I'm not sure I understood your question, but of course then you should invite, like at different times for different periods, the different artists to your residency.
Okay,
is it what you're asking?
It's not quiet, but it's okay. I kind of understand. I think as an organization, if I apply for residency action, I can only like host artists. I cannot facilitate that, like a mentoring program that, for example, I choose a project that gets mentored or gets residencies in multiple places. That's not something I can.
No. Actually, if you apply as a residency, as if you welcome, like artists as a residency, then you should host them. And this call is for basically just that. What you're talking about maybe is like a cooperation with other organizations. Maybe it can be put in a Perform Europe or a European cooperation call for sure. But then again, it's not the same level or not the same thing, of course. But for a residency, if you apply as a residency host, then it's only that you're hosting.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's key. And can I have one more short question? Is it if it's an individual mobility? The UK is not part of it at the moment, if I understand.
Unfortunately, no. The UK is not part of the Creative Europe program anymore. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so continue with Georgina.
Hi. I have a question. I think it was about Creative Europe cooperation projects.
Yeah.
Basically, in one slide, you said as a coordinator, you need to have legal existence. What does that mean?
Okay, so in a European cooperation project, basically only organizations can apply. And if you put it like in a fancy way, an organization is a legal entity which is established. And even more, if you are a coordinator of a European cooperation project, you have to be established at least for 2 years at the time of application. So if you're a partner, a member organization in the cooperation project, this rule doesn't apply for you. So basically you could be established like 1 week ago or something like that. But if you are the coordinator, you have to be established at least 2 years before the time of application.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's
Sophie, do you have a question regarding this or?
Okay. Yes, I have a question regarding this. I was wondering, like a private company, does it count as a legal entity in that situation? So you can have a private company and apply with that.
Yeah, of course. The main thing is the project. The project itself has to be non-profit. This means that your incomes are the same as your expenditure, but the organizations, basically, it doesn't matter. It can be a non-profit company, it can be a for-profit company, it can be a university, it can be I don't know,
association,
or it can be anything. At least it has a legal entity, so it's established under some national law.
Okay, right. Thank you.
So, Tina. I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly, sorry, but
Gina.
Gina, okay.
I don't really have a question now that we were talking about this last thing. Yeah, actually, if we don't have any organization established, then we can just find one and apply through this one. That's right.
Basically. It depends on, I always say to applicants that these corporations are always based on trust. So if you have an organization that is willing to cooperate with you this way, that actually you apply through them, then of course it's okay. But then legally, it's an interesting question. If you are not part of this organization, because the number one rule is that if you are a member of a project, as an organization, that organization has to coordinate the project. So basically, this question arises when we get a lot of times the question that if I have like a person, like a project manager that I or a management company, let's say, or a grant application writer company, can I do that? And the official answer is that you cannot do that, because then the coordination is out of the organization of what applies. So legally, it's basically you have to have a contract with that organization. Basically, that contract can be only for the duration of the project, but still, you have to have a contract, because then if you have a contract with them, then you are inside that organization, or you have some legal connection to that organization.
Mm-hmm. And if in the past there was a contract, it doesn't matter. It
Sorry?
belongs to the past. If someone was in this organization in the past, doesn't mean that it can apply for future projects. It needs to be in a contract again.
So during project implementation, you have to have this contract with the organization. Yes. Okay. If you have more questions, please shoot. Or if you have some topics that you would like me to talk about, which was not very clear or not very detailed in my presentation. Okay, Susanna, you have a question, so please.
Following up on what Sophia was asking regarding the residencies, I was trying to search meanwhile on Google to find a list of the organizations which received this residency money, so we would know as artists where we can apply for a residency then. But I couldn't find it within this.
Yeah, I think because this Culture Moves Europe started last year. The first round, the first round of individual mobility started last October and lasted until this May. But the first residency action call started this year. So I think that the results are not published yet. Because this is the residency action is special in a way that it is two-step application. So first you apply generally what cultural sector you're in, what kind of artists you are looking for to host, and so on. And after that, when you are selected in this first round, then you have to have this more detailed application in which you have some time to select all your artists, and then you have to have these info cards sent in that these will be the artists that I will host as a residency. And I think this autumn, I think this should be done now, this selection, but I think they haven't published the results yet.
We as a circus organization, we are at the moment hosting volunteers, which are kind of doing also something like a residency, but also helping out as a volunteer. So it's under the European Solidarity Corps program.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask if this hosting a residency, if it has any advantages over the European Voluntary Solidarity Program.
As I mentioned, that synergies are always encouraged between different programs, but of course, for the same program, you cannot have two different EU fundings. So if it's the same program, and that's the emphasis in it's on if it's the same program, then you cannot have two different EU funding for that. So you have to decide if it would be a Solidarity Corps or a volunteering program in Erasmus or something, or it would be a Creative Europe grant. But if you have different projects, then of course you have to prove that these are different projects and have one Solidarity Corps project and another one from Culture Moves Europe or Creative Europe funding. Of course, that's possible.
And the process from starting to apply for the first part and the second part of the residency program, how much time goes over it?
So let's see concretely. I think the application deadline this year for the residency action was in January, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, sorry, no. The publication date was in January or in February, and the selection date was in June. So the deadline was in June, and I think in September the selected organizations were informed, and they said that during the autumn they should select. So they had like I think 2 months, something like that, 2 or 3 months to select the artists that they will host. So if you look at it like that, then from the deadline, I think it can be about half a year until you can implement the residency action as a host. And if you apply as for the individual mobility, our colleagues in Brussels asked us to tell every applicant that please at least try to have 4 months at least between your application and the time of your starting your residency, because of course only after that you signed your contract you can start your residency, and there is a deadline every end of the month, and if you applied like in the first half of the month, still they don't do anything with your application until the end of the month. That's when the jury first sees your application, and then they evaluate your application, and after that you have to, if you got selected, then you have to make the contract, and that's why they say that at least please leave a 4-month gap between your application and the start of your residency period.
Maybe one more small question regarding this. Last year they opened a special individual this mobility for professionals for Circus Strada meeting, general meeting. Do you know by any chance if this will happen again this year?
You mean, I think, I don't know if I understand correctly, but this was something that Circus Strada did, because then that's there, or was it like because I don't remember if the Culture Moves Europe team, I mean, who coordinate the project, if they did something like that. They have what they do is like they have these events called Question Time, which then you can every Friday there is this basically information session, and if you have any questions regarding the individual mobility or the residency action, you can ask them directly, because they are implementing the Culture Moves Europe program, Goethe Institute. And out of the 4 Fridays of a month, 3 usually is about the individual mobility, and 1 is about the residency action. But going back to your question, this event was something like a matchmaking or
yeah, so there is a general meeting each year organized by Circus Strada, and the moment like when we were preparing for traveling there, we already applied for the individual mobility for professionals because we
okay. And your project was like to go to the Circostrada meeting.
Yes, and afterwards, Circostrada themselves, they opened the possibility to apply to them directly. Yes, it was directly, but it was money from the individual mobility for professionals. But they somehow, like, as Circostrada applied for a bigger amount of people, and then they
then maybe Circostrada applied for the residency action, and that's how they could. I'm not sure, but
maybe.
You know, because I didn't know about this, so that's what I'm guessing, that they applied for the residency action, and that's how they could invite, because that's the whole meaning of the residency action, that if you are holding a residency, then you can invite artists or cultural professionals to your residency.
So the residency is not only for artists but also for professionals?
Yeah, cultural professionals. I mean, it's not only for artists. If you are like a project manager in culture, it also could be eligible. If you go, for example, like something like a job shadowing, like how somebody does project management in a different Creative Europe country or something like that. So that's up to you to decide. So it's just important that you don't have to be an artist, and you don't have to like co-create something, because there are other possibilities as well.
Thank you.
So anybody else? You know that, of course, I don't really want you to go, but you have the possibility to join other breakout rooms. I don't know if it was clear to you, but of course I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions if you have some more, or please tell me what shall I tell you about.
Can you just speak a little bit more about like the mobility grant, and then if it's not just for like moving around and making creations, what else it can be applied to other than like project management and shadowing?
Okay, so the individual mobility grant is open for projects coming from different sectors, but not all of cultural sectors. It is open for cultural heritage, architecture, design, fashion, music, performing arts, visual arts. I think that's all. So, and in these cultural sectors, if you're an artist, then maybe you will co-create, or maybe you will, I don't know. It's also a possibility to apply for like going to, like Susanne mentioned, going to an event, to be there. Of course, there has to be a very good reason why you want to attend that event, and of course, there is always, there always has to be a result of your project. So if you're an artist and you go there like to co-create something, it's very easy to understand that you will have a result. If you are, I don't know, you will have a performance as a result, or if you are a musician, you will make a song together, or if you are if you're coming from visual arts, you will have a painting, or you will have a sculpture, something like that. But if you are, for example, a project manager, it's also possible to go to a residency and to really get into details, for example, for an application to a European cooperation project. That's also possible. So basically, because in European cooperation project, the pre-work or the work that you do before the project is not eligible, so you cannot finance it from the project budget. But with Culture Moves Europe, it's possible that you apply for funding just to go there and to talk about another collaborations and set up a project, which you will apply, for example, for the European cooperation projects. That's also possible. So did I understand answer your question?
Yes, you did. And also then, so can you just tell me like when the deadline is for this, or when it opens?
Okay, so the individual mobility is like a rolling call.
Oh yeah, once a month.
Yeah, so at the end of the month, they close, like they don't close, because then of course the next month you can also apply, but they gather all the applications that came in that month, and then there is this selection process, and in the next month they do the same. And I encourage you to, I don't want to hurry you or something, but of course in the last month, at least that's what happened in this year, that in the last months there are always more applications, because then it's the last month. So if you apply before, even this month or next month, maybe, but just maybe, you have a bigger chance to get the grant. Because if you apply in the last month, a lot of people apply at the last month, because that's the last chance. And with the residency action, the deadline is in January, January the 16th, I think, but it was in my presentation.
And
Sorry,
then, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Georgie.
Just to finish with this one, like, so you apply once, you apply on a monthly thing, and then how long between like your application and then like finding out if you're successful? How much time should you give it?
That's what I said, that you should, okay, so that you should give at least 4 months between your application date and the start of your residency. But I think they promised that, I think that 2 months, that they will give you an answer in 2 months. But of course, like administration, like bureaucracy is not, it's something to consider. So that's why if you would like to be sure, then leave a 4 months period between your application date and the start of your residency.
Okay, thank you. It's clear.
And sorry to say this, but again, additional information that you have after signing the contract, you have 1 year to complete your residency. Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It was one of the most nice processes to go through project-wise that I've done. Like this one.
That's good to hear.
It was really good.
Okay, Sophie, you had a question.
Yeah, that is very encouraging. Yeah, I think I wanted to ask something that you answered now, but I have a very different question about the cooperation project. I don't know if it's enough time to write it, because the deadline is the end of January. But basically, we have a prepared application, a Visegrad Plus, for a mentoring and residency program with 3 partners. And I don't know if we have this already and we have our partners, do you think it's enough time to prepare the cooperation project on the basis of that?
It's very hard to answer these kind of questions, because of course, okay, start from the beginning. If you don't have partners, if you don't have an idea what to apply with, then we tell applicants that it's at least half a year, but even more.
Okay.
If you don't have anything. If you have partners, if you have the idea, then of course it depends on you how fast can you write. I don't want to joke about this, but of course, there are for somebody it just let's say takes 2 weeks to write everything. In a cooperation project this year, the maximum that you can write is 50 pages.
Okay.
You cannot exceed 50 pages.
Okay.
So
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But the good news is if you miss this January deadline, it's January the 23rd, there will be another call during next year, during the autumn, like this year. I don't know the exact dates, even I don't know the exact months, but I can tell you that there will be a next call. Hopefully.
So you're handing on the next one, basically.
Yeah. So,
and for the
because every year, cooperation project is every year, so that's for sure.
Okay. And for that, how long does it take to be to get the results out?
Okay, so that's a longer process because it's like half a year from the deadline. It's half a year, like the evaluation. They usually say less, but okay, let's say 5 months. I think now they're saying that the deadline is in January, and then they will inform the applicants like in somewhere around, I think, July. But then, of course, during the summer break, everybody's on summer break, so the grant application process will take place during autumn. And of course, for the cooperation project, it's also true that you can begin your project only if your grant agreement is signed. So basically, if you apply this January, you can start your project at the earliest, I think, end of next year somewhere. It depends on how fast the contracting process goes. So
basically, if I have something that would start 2025 March, then I should hand it in now in January.
Basically, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Just
because
that's what I wanted to
then
see.
if you apply for the next call,
it's too late.
Yes, it's too late for because there is a possibility if you can argue that you must start your project beforehand. I mean, before signing the contract. It's not automatic, but it can be possible that you can start earlier. But I think maybe it's only in just very justifiable cases. So if you want to be sure for an event in 2025 March, then you should apply now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Cenge, welcome.
Hello, I'm in the neighboring Veronika's room. I'm checking if you are ready to go back to the main room, or you still have some interesting things to do.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just popping in and out.
Okay, so do you have any more questions? Okay, Susanne.
A very short last one. I think I remember from the individual mobility for artists that there is written that you can't apply to perform somewhere else. Is that correct?
So the rule is that this grant is not for like touring, because Perform Europe is for touring. So in a sense, it's true, but also it's not true, because if the result of your project is that you perform somewhere, it can happen, but only if you would like to, if you would like to have a concert, you have a band and you would like to have a concert to have in another country, that's not possible because it's not, it's not a project, it's just a concert. But if you go there, co-create there with somebody, and then there is a performance or there is a concert at the end, it's possible. But just to go there to make a performance, and because it's a residency program, so you have to be there at least 7 days. So just to have a concert is just 1 day, so it's not a residency then. So that's the whole logic behind the grant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So as far as I understood, we have to go back to the main room now. So thank you very much for joining me.
Too.
And if you have any questions, contact me or contact my colleagues at the creative Europe desk of your countries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Let's see. I cannot enter the general chat. Okay. There was this question from someone in the main chat, and I don't know how to find them because I think it was a question that could be addressed here, in the good advices section. Let's see. It's from Sean and Maria. Well. Let's see if someone enters that they can let them know that we are here. So I'm not sure what you guys would like to speak about. Like we left this room so that also people that have already done projects can be with us. I don't know. Has any of you done projects again? Any kind of projects like small scale or bigger scale, being a participant or a coordinator? No. So none of you guys have done a project before, or been a participant?
Hello, Marianthi. Hello
Hi.
to all. Hello to all. You mean a project that was founded, or just a project, an initiative?
Well, a project that was funded either by the Creative Europe or from the European Commission in general, as in the Erasmus Plus project, because the Erasmus Plus actually has been where I started, and it's more like a little bit more of a comfort zone for me. Like the Creative Europe was like this, was my premiere with Creative Europe, but I see a lot of of similarities when you're running a funded project by the European Commission. So I just wanted to know where you guys are standing. Have you never done a project before, or a project funded by the European Commission, I mean?
In our collective space, we hosted a project from Erasmus Plus, but because we don't have a legal form yet, we were not seen as collaborators, and we were not participating in the designing, but in a very specific part of the project, like hosting and facilitating one event of the project.
Yeah, one event.
Yes. So only this.
Okay. Lena, are you from you speak English or?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm from Greece.
Ωραία. Αυτό ήθελα να τσεκάρω. Sorry, ωραία. Γεια. Μόνο από Ελλάδα άτομα. Τέλος πάντων, άτομα που μιλούν ελληνικά κάπως.
Οπότε να μιλήσουμε ελληνικά.
Οπότε, αν θέλετε, μπορούμε να μιλήσουμε ελληνικά. Μόλις μπει κάποιος που μιλάει αγγλικά, θα πούμε «Oh, yes, hello».
Θα γυρίσουμε, ναι.
Να ακούτε.
Ναι,
καλησπέρα. Γεια σας.
Ρε παιδιά, μπορεί να βγει κάποιος και να καλέσει, αν θέλουν, με μήνυμα, γιατί εγώ τώρα μάλλον δεν μπορώ να πω, κάτσε να ξαναδώ τα ονόματά τους. Είχαν μια πολύ ενδιαφέρουσα ερώτηση. Σωτηροπούλου Μαρία και ο Σον. Παίζει να μπορεί κάποιος από εσάς να βγει από το breakout room και να ρωτήσει τον Πέντεγκους πώς μπορούμε να τους καλέσουμε στο δικό μας αν θέλουν να μπουν, γιατί δεν ξέρω, εντάξει, μπορεί να έχουν πάει κάπου αλλού. Τέλος πάντων.
Ποιους θέλουμε να καλέσουμε?
Τον Σον και τη Μαρία, αλλά και πάλι μπορεί...
Σον και Μαρία.
Μαρία Σωτηροπούλου. Και πάλι
το
chat δεν τους βγάζει μόνο εμάς. Τέλος πάντων, αυτό που μου φάνηκε ενδιαφέρον είναι ότι τα παιδιά κάνανε μια ερώτηση στο πώς εξισορροπείς το ότι ως καλλιτέχνες του τσίρκο δεν έχουμε συνήθως σταθερή δουλειά και σταθερό μισθό, και το ότι κάπως μπορεί να γίνει μια ισορροπία, ας πούμε, μεταξύ της δουλειάς που χρειάζονται αυτά τα project για να υλοποιηθούν και το πώς θα βγάζουμε τα προστοζήν μας. Το οποίο το θεωρώ, ρε παιδί μου, κάπως εξαιρετική ερώτηση. Δεν είμαι σίγουρη ακριβώς ότι έχω απάντηση. Απλώς επειδή, ξέρεις, είμαστε εδώ, ρε παιδί μου, έτσι στα good advices, η δικιά μου εμπειρία λέει ότι δυστυχώς, εγώ πάντα, ξέρεις, ξεκινάω λίγο, ρε παιδί μου, από το reality check και μετά πάω στο ωραία. Δυστυχώς τα προγράμματα αυτά δεν είναι για να μας συντηρήσουν, παιδιά, κακά τα ψέματα. Εντάξει, θα ήτανε πάρα πολύ ωραία να υπήρχε αυτή η πρόβλεψη, επειδή όντως οι καλλιτέχνες δεν έχουν σταθερά εισοδήματα, εντάξει, να υπήρχε αυτή η πρόβλεψη έτσι ώστε να μπορεί να υπάρξει, ας πούμε, και κάποιο είδους salary. Δεν υπάρχει παρόλα αυτά, δηλαδή είδατε και ο Κυρ Gábor είπε ότι το ποσοστό, ρε παιδί μου, του συνολικού προϋπολογισμού είναι τύπου για τα καλλιτεχνικά 4%. Ξέρω εγώ, κάτι τέτοιο. Οπότε δεν υπάρχει. Ας ξεκαθαρίσουμε δηλαδή μία αυτό. Και από εκεί και πέρα, εγώ θεωρώ ότι θα υπάρξουν... Έχει να κάνει πολύ με το σχεδιασμό. Έχω υπάρξει σε project από το 2013, έτσι λίγο και με άλλες οργανώσεις κτλ. Έχω υπάρξει σε project που με κανένα τρόπο δεν άξιζε τα λεφτά που έπαιρνα για τη δουλειά που είχα να κάνω. Εντάξει, να το πούμε λίγο χύμα, ρε παιδί μου. Δηλαδή, λες, έχω να κάνω τα show μου, έχω να κάνω τις πρόβες μου, έχω να κλείσω τα show μου, ενώ τα κάνω και ενώ κάνω τις πρόβες, και ταυτόχρονα έχω, ρε παιδί μου, να γράψω κιόλας, να φιλοξενήσω και τους καλλιτέχνες, και κάπως πώς θα γίνουν όλα αυτά. Και ειδικά αν έχεις και οικογένεια, ή τέλος πάντων, ό,τι έχεις, ρε παιδί μου. Κάπως δεν υπήρχε αυτό το balance. Αλλά νομίζω ότι περνώντας τα χρόνια, βρήκαμε εμείς τρόπο να έχουμε καλύτερο balance. Δηλαδή, η Βερόνικα που είχε πιο πολλή εμπειρία από μένα, άρχισε και αυτή σιγά σιγά να καταλαβαίνει ότι ρε εσύ, θα παίξουμε με τους αριθμούς, καλή ώρα που λέει και η Βερόνικα το budget είναι φίλος μας. Θα παίξουμε με
παιχνίδι.
Ναι, με ένα τέτοιο τρόπο, ώστε να είναι υπέρ μας. Απλώς για όλα τα πράγματα για τα οποία δεν έχουμε εμπειρία, προφανώς οι ώρες που θα χρειαστεί να αφιερώσουμε, παιδιά, πολλές φορές μπορεί να χρειαστεί να είναι περισσότερες.
Άμα δεν το πάρουμε σαν παιχνίδι, χάνουμε την μπάλα.
Κάπως έτσι.
Μπορούμε να χάσουμε πολύ εύκολα την μπάλα, διότι αριθμών, διότι...
Και εγώ αυτό πιστεύω. Θέλει λίγο να το δεις, ρε παιδί μου, έτσι λίγο πιο ανάλαφρα, και ότι, εντάξει, κάνεις μέχρι εκεί, ρε παιδί μου, που, ξέρεις, μέχρι εκεί που αξίζει να βγάλεις ένα ωραίο project, ρε παιδί μου.
Έχω ερώτηση.
Για πες το.
Σε μία από τις εικόνες είχαν 3 ποσά. Τώρα όλο αυτό πότε ξεκίνησε και πώς είναι, γιατί έχω χάσει σκηνικά νομίζω. Έχουν ήδη κατέβει από Ουγγαρία, εγώ είμαι Ουγγαρέζος και Έλληνας. Και θα ήθελα πολύ να πάρω μέρος σε αυτή τη φάση που είναι συνεργασία ανάμεσα αυτών των δύο χώρων, έχοντας 20 χρόνια εμπειρία στον κόσμο των ζογκλερικών.
Κοίτα, το project έχει ολοκληρωθεί το Together. Δηλαδή αυτά τα webinar που κάνουμε είναι στην ουσία το κλείσιμο του προγράμματος. Έγινε η Ελευσίνα τον Ιούνιο και το Βέσπρεν έγινε το Σεπτέμβριο. Οπότε αυτό ήταν μια διαδικασία που εγώ με τη Βερόνικα ετηθήκαμε περίπου 2 χρόνια πριν, για να έχουμε καλλιτεχνικό διευθυντή από τη Γαλλία, για να έχουμε τους συνεργάτες από Ουκρανία. Είχαν βγει τα open call, δηλαδή είχαν βγει, πώς το λένε, open call για audition που έκανε στην ουσία, που έγινε online από τον Γάλλο τον διευθυντή, δεν ξέρω αν το είχες δει. Είχε τρέξει για αρκετό καιρό, είχε τρέξει Απρίλιο-Μάιο σε όλα τα social, είχαμε κάνει έτσι ένα μεγάλο χαμούλι. Οπότε αυτό ήταν για να διαλεχτούν οι καλλιτέχνες και αυτό, ρε παιδί, μετά τρέξανε οι δράσεις και οι παραστάσεις.
Και αυτά τα 3 ποσά που περιγράφουν εκεί πέρα, που σε ένα σύνολο είναι πάνω από 100.000 ευρώ, αυτά τι είναι, τι ήταν?
Αυτά είχε πάρα πολλά ποσά μέσα η παρουσίαση του Gábor. Αυτά είναι οι προϋπολογισμοί, οι εγκεκριμένοι προϋπολογισμοί της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής για τα καλλιτεχνικά.
Ωραία. Και αυτή η Επιτροπή δίνει όλο το ποσό σε μία ομάδα. Δηλαδή αυτό είναι πολλές ομάδες από όλο τον κόσμο οι οποίες παίρνουν μέρος σε κάτι το οποίο σαν θέμα δίνει η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση, πάνω στο οποίο η κάθε ομάδα με τον τρόπο της εκφράζεται με την τέχνη, μέσω της τέχνης της.
Κάπως έτσι σκέψου το, ναι. Δηλαδή βγαίνει ένα κάλεσμα από την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή, είναι μόνο για τέτοιο, είναι μόνο
την Ευρώπη για χώρες της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, τα συγκεκριμένα καλέσματα. Και σου λέει, ρε παιδί μου, ότι η προτεραιότητά μας, οι προτεραιότητες μας για αυτή την 7ετία, ο οδηγός, παιδιά, του Creative Europe και του Erasmus+, η οδηγία αυτή που λέει η Βερόνικα να καθίσουμε να διαβάσουμε γράμμα προς γράμμα και σελίδα προς σελίδα, υπάρχουν και στα ελληνικά. Είναι όντως καμιά εκατοστή σελίδες.
Ωραία, αυτό δεν πειράζει. Εσύ το έχεις αυτό το υλικό?
Εγώ αυτό το υλικό μπορώ να σας το στείλω. Είναι
τέλεια.
Οπότε, ρε παιδί μου, να τα κατεβάσετε και εκεί αρχίζεις και καταλαβαίνεις λίγο και τη γλώσσα, το τι σου ζητάνε και σου λένε, ρε παιδί μου, ότι εμείς έχουμε αυτές τις προτεραιότητες για την κλιματική αλλαγή, για τη συμπεριληπτικότητα, για το δεν ξέρω εγώ τι, το δεν ξέρω εγώ τι. Γράψε μας τι θα ήθελες, τι θα μπορούσες να κάνεις γύρω από αυτό το ζήτημα. Μπορείς να κάνεις μια παράσταση, μπορείς να κάνεις μια ανταλλαγή νέων και να μιλήσετε για αυτό το κομμάτι, μπορείς να κάνεις μια σειρά από παραστάσεις.
Δηλαδή πρώτα τους εκφράζουμε γραπτό. Ναι, ωραία. Και αυτό θα περάσει μια επιλογή από επιτροπή. Ναι, και άμα περάσει μετά θα πάμε στο δεύτερο στάδιο.
Ναι, το δεύτερο στάδιο είναι η υλοποίηση. Δεν έχει πολλά στάδια. Θέλω να πω ότι γράφεις την πρόταση. Είναι σαν αυτά τα charts. Γράφεις μια πρόταση.
Δηλαδή το βιντεάκι που είδαμε πέρασε.
Στη ζωή σου εγκρίνεται, υλοποιείς το project. Αυτό είναι το.
Δηλαδή το βιντεάκι που είδαμε τώρα λίγο πριν εδώ στο διαδίκτυο ήταν ένα project που πέρασε και υλοποιήθηκε.
Πολύ σωστά. Είναι το together.
Ωραία.
Και είναι αυτό στα πλαίσια του οποίου κάνουμε και αυτά τα webinar. Γιατί εμείς όταν κάναμε την πρόταση, αυτό που σας έλεγα, ρε παιδί μου, ότι χρειάζεται λίγο και ένα spice, ρε παιδί μου. Και εγώ ακολουθώ τη Βερόνικα που έχει πολύ περισσότερη εμπειρία από μένα. Αλλά αυτό που καταλαβαίνω είναι ότι εμείς είχαμε την ιδέα να κάνουμε αυτές τις δράσεις στις πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες. Να μιλήσουμε για όλα αυτά τα ζητήματα, το πώς μπορούν οι άνθρωποι να βρίσκονται ξανά στο δημόσιο χώρο και αυτά και δεν ξέρω εγώ τι, τέλος πάντων διάφορα. Λες όμως μετά, τι άλλο παίζει, ρε παιδί μου, αυτή τη στιγμή σαν προτεραιότητες στην Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή? Μπορεί η δικιά μας προτεραιότητα να μην ήταν άμεσα, εντάξει, να το πω και αυτό, γιατί εγώ δεν είμαι πολύ έτσι της οθόνης. Αλλά ήταν προτεραιότητα το digital era. Οπότε οτιδήποτε έχει να κάνει πλέον με webinar και τέτοια, παίρνει εξτρά πόντους. Και που τελικά είπαμε, ρε παιδί μου, να τα κάνουμε αυτά τα webinar και που τελικά αυτή η σχέση, γι' αυτό που λέει η Βερόνικα ότι είναι έτσι μια σχέση, αυτή η σχέση με τις προτεραιότητες της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής και τα δικά σου όνειρα, που βγαίνει σε καλό. Δηλαδή κάνουμε αυτό το webinar και τελικά, ρε παιδί μου, μπορεί να μην ήταν στην αρχική μας ιδέα, να το βάλαμε, ρε παιδί μου, για να ενδυναμώσουμε την πρότασή μας.
Το webinar τι σημαίνει?
Αυτό που κάνουμε τώρα είναι webinar, Κωνσταντίνε.
Τι κάνουμε?
Εμείς κάνουμε τώρα ένα webinar. Είναι ένα
webinar, όχι seminar. Δεν κατάλαβα τη λέξη, γι' αυτό, οκ.
Είναι ένα σεμινάριο, γίνεται online, οπότε λέγεται... Αυτό, τώρα δεν ξέρω, αν θέλετε κάτι άλλο να μοιραστούμε, έτσι να πούμε, Παναγιώτη,
Εγώ, γεια σας και από μένα, Παναγιώτης, είμαι στην Αθήνα. Επαγγελματίας ζογκλέρ εδώ και 20 χρόνια, έχω ατομική επιχείρηση, λειτουργώ έτσι δηλαδή με...
Respect.
Ναι, ευχαριστώ. Και ήθελα να ρωτήσω, αυτά τα προγράμματα είναι που τα χρηματοδοτεί η Ένωση, είναι μόνο διεθνή, ας πούμε, ή μπορούμε, ας πούμε, να συνεργαστούμε μεταξύ ομάδων μέσα στην Αθήνα ή μέσα στην Ελλάδα?
Όχι, δεν είναι ενδοκινοτικά. Χρειάζεται να είναι με partnerships, με συνέργειες. Καμιά φορά ξεχνάω και τα ελληνικά, τις ελληνικές ορολογίες. Συνέργειες από την Ευρώπη χρειάζεται να είναι τα συγκεκριμένα της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής. Από εκεί και πέρα, εγώ θα σου πω ότι μπορείς να δεις σίγουρα τις επιδοτήσεις του Υπουργείου Πολιτισμού και από εκεί και πέρα έχει και όλα τα ιδρύματα. Δεν ξέρω κατά πόσο εκφράζουν ή όχι. Νιάρχος, Μποδοσάκης, όλα αυτά, ρε παιδί μου, που βγάζουν καλέσματα. Συνήθως δηλαδή θα κοιτάξεις για συμπράξεις εντός χώρας, θα κοιτάξεις για χρηματοδοτικούς φορείς
της χώρας.
Ναι.
Το νόημα νομίζω σε όλα αυτά είναι να συνδεθείς περισσότερο και με άλλους πολιτισμούς, άλλες χώρες, να υπάρχει μια κινητικότητα μέσα στην Ευρώπη.
Είναι αυτό της ιδιότητας του Ευρωπαίου πολίτη. που ψάχνουμε πάντα. Ότι, είμαστε όλοι από τις χώρες που είμαστε, αλλά ως Ευρωπαίοι έχουμε και κάτι που μας ενώνει, ας πούμε. Είναι η ιδιότητα του Ευρωπαίου πολίτη. Που και αυτό, ας πούμε, είναι πολύ σημαντικό, γι' αυτό και υπάρχουν αυτές οι μεγάλες δομές για να υλοποιούνται προγράμματα. Τα Erasmus Plus, ας πούμε, είναι εξίσου πολύ ενδιαφέροντα. Εμείς έχουμε ασχοληθεί με Erasmus Plus γύρω από την παιδαγωγική του τσίρκο. Οπότε, ό,τι έχω κάνει γύρω από ανταλλαγές καλλιτεχνικού τσίρκο και ό,τι έχει να κάνει με το κοινωνικό τσίρκο και την παιδαγωγική του τσίρκο, τα έχουμε κάνει όλα μέσω Erasmus Plus και κάπως έτσι, που λέω κι εγώ, έτσι άνοιξαν τα μάτια τα προηγούμενα 10 χρόνια, γιατί πήγαμε Βέλγιο, Γερμανία, Γαλλία, Ισπανία, όπου μπορείτε να φανταστείτε, ρε παιδί μου, είχαμε κάποιους partners, αλλά ήταν partners από Ευρώπη αυτό.
Μάλιστα. Εγώ τώρα σκέφτομαι, δεν ξέρω, μήπως και εσένα ίσως ενδιαφέρει. Σίγουρα θα σε ενδιαφέρει εφόσον κάνεις το functional juggling και όλα αυτά. Τώρα, εγώ εντάξει, είπαμε 20 χρόνια στις εκδηλώσεις και show και τ' και τ' άλλο, έχω κουραστεί λίγο και τώρα προσανατολίζομαι περισσότερο στη διδαχή, στα workshop, ας πούμε. Και θα έχει ενδιαφέρον να το κάναμε. Εντάξει, εγώ τώρα το ξεκινάω με 2 πράγματα στο μυαλό μου. Το ένα είναι να βρω χορηγούς από ιδρύματα όπως αυτά που είπες εδώ στην Ελλάδα και να κάνουμε πράγματα σε άλλα ιδρύματα που έχουν τα παιδιά ή τους οποιονδήποτε, πρόσφυγες κλπ. Στην Ελλάδα να χορηγήσουν δηλαδή αυτοί για να κάνουμε τα προγράμματα εκεί πέρα. Και το άλλο κομμάτι είναι να κάνουμε τέτοιου είδους προγράμματα εκπαίδευσης, ας πούμε, στα ζωοκληρικά περισσότερο, σε εταιρείες για team building activities και τέτοια. Το οποίο μπορεί να έχει και διάφορες θεματικές εκεί πέρα. Δηλαδή, να τους πεις ότι θα σας... Δηλαδή, αυτό δουλεύω τώρα. Οπότε, κάτι τέτοιο δεν θα μπορούσε να γίνει συνεργατικά με ανθρώπους στο εξωτερικό και να το κάναμε.
Εννοείται. Βγαίνεις τώρα από αυτό το chat, το breakout room και μπαίνεις στο breakout room, share your ideas. Θέλω να πω ότι αυτό ακριβώς που περιγράφεις είναι ένα πρώτο βήμα, ότι παιδιά έχω αυτές τις 2 ιδέες. Η μία είναι functional juggling, ένα network, ας πούμε, έτσι, για να συνεχίσουμε να εκπαιδευόμαστε πάνω σε αυτό και να κάνουμε και τις παρεμβάσεις μας, που θα ενδιαφέρει τη Βερόνικα 100% γιατί έχει τρομερή εμπειρία. Είναι στην ουσία το άτομο που ασχολείται με το functional juggling, όπως είναι ο Μάρκος σε εμάς, αντίστοιχα είναι η Βερόνικα στην Ουγγαρία. Μπορεί να μας συνδέσει και με το Λάπο και με άλλα άτομα που ασχολούνται με αυτό. Οπότε μία ιδέα είναι αυτή και η άλλη ιδέα είναι το πώς μπορούν να γίνουν, ας πούμε, πώς το λένε, business training και empowerment επιχειρήσεων εργαζομένων στο HR, ας πούμε, μέσω του τσίρκου. Αυτές είναι οι ιδέες μου, ψάχνω partners που είτε έχουν εμπειρία, δηλαδή εμένα πάντα μου αρέσει, δεν ξέρω, τώρα ίσως είμαι και σε ένα μετέχμιο. Τέλος πάντων, όλα τα προηγούμενα χρόνια ένιωθα πάρα πολύ ασφαλής με partners που έχουν περισσότερη εμπειρία από μένα. Γιατί όπως και να έχει, εντάξει, το τσίρκο οι τέχνες του τσίρκου στην Ελλάδα ακόμα αναπτύσσονται.
Ανεβαίνουμε,
η μία η Βέλγα, η συνεργάτη μου, κάποια στιγμή γύρισε και μας είπε developing country. Τύπου αναπτυσσόμενη χώρα και μία που κοίταξε λίγο έτσι και δεν εννοούσε για το τσίρκο μόνο, εννοούσε γενικά. Μία που την κοίταξε λίγο έτσι. Ναι, και τύπου η γυναίκα, ξέρεις, μαζεύτηκε, 1000 συγγνώμη, μου λέει, δεν το εννοούσε έτσι. Άσε, της λέω, εντάξει, συμφωνώ, της λέω, μην ανησυχείς. Οπότε και στο κομμάτι του τσίρκου κάπως, ρε παιδί μου, θεωρώ ότι τώρα αναπτυσσόμαστε. Βέβαια, εμένα, ας πούμε, με ενδιαφέρει πολύ να αρχίσω να βλέπω τι γίνεται στα Βαλκάνια, που είναι πολύ κοντά μας, που έχει αξιόλογες ομάδες.
Είστε και κοντά στη Βουλγαρία, εσείς που έχει παράδοση.
Ναι, αυτό, οπότε... Ξέρεις, αρχίζεις και ψάχνεις για partner σιγά σιγά ανάλογα το τι θέλεις. Θέλεις εσύ να εξελιχθείς, θα ψάξεις για πιο έμπειρους partners, οπότε θα ανέβεις πιο βόρεια. Οι Βέλγοι, ας πούμε, μπορεί να...
Τώρα μια που το αναφέρεις, αυτή η αναζήτηση για τους partners, πώς ακριβώς, ας πούμε, γίνεται?
Αυτό το webinar είναι από μόνο του ένας τρόπος.
Networking, δηλαδή.
Ναι.
Εγώ αυτή την ερώτηση δεν κατάφερα να την απαντήσω μέσα σε αυτό το χρονικό διάστημα που περίπου είναι 20 χρόνια που ασχολούμαι με ζογκλερικά, το πώς μπορείς να βρεις το τέρι σου να κάνεις μαζί μια παράσταση ή ένα άτομο να συνεργαστείς μαζί. Παίζει να φταίω εγώ σε αυτό, δεν ξέρω.
Κοίτα, εγώ, ας πούμε,
ναι.
έγραψα στο Partner Research το F-Top από την παρουσίαση του Gábor, οπότε μπορούμε να πάμε πίσω στην παρουσίαση του Gábor, να δούμε εκεί τι γίνεται με Partner Research. Επίσης, έχει πλατφόρμες η Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή, μέσα στις οποίες μπαίνεις για αναζήτηση συνεργειών, και εκεί έχει και πολύ ωραία keywords, βάζεις keyword, τσίρκο, δεν ξέρω εγώ τι, αυτό, ανάλογα το τι σε ενδιαφέρει, και σου βγάζει καταγεγραμμένες οργανώσεις. Και μετά φυσικά, παιδιά, πάμε στα social media, έτσι. Θέλω να πω ότι θέλει ψάξιμο η έβρεση συνεργατών. Σίγουρα είναι πιο safe αν κάποιος ξέρει την οργάνωση, κάποιος έχει πάει εκεί, κάποιος έχει πάει εκεί Εράσμους, κάποιος έκανε μια ανταλλαγή, κάτι
Μια προσωπική επαφή, δηλαδή, νομίζω βοηθάει.
Αλλά συνεργαστούμε πρώτα εδώ στη χώρα μας και μετά βρούμε και...
Παράλληλα πάμε.
Ναι, βασικά κάποια ένωση τσιρκολάνων. Δηλαδή, αυτό το πρόβλημα, ας πούμε...
Στην Ελλάδα
ναι,
υπάρχει
κάτι πήγε να γίνει τώρα στην Αθήνα.
Υπάρχει ένα πανελλήνιο, ας πούμε. Στην Αθήνα προσπαθήσαμε για ένα σωματείο το οποίο απέτυχε, αλλά υπάρχει ένα σελίδα στο Facebook όπου είναι από όλη την Ελλάδα κόσμος εκεί μέσα. Σαν κοινότητα
Ποια
δηλαδή.
είναι αυτή? Ρε παιδιά, τέτοιες σελίδες. Εγώ είμαι 20 χρόνια ήμουν εξωτερικό και δεν έχω ιδέα πού και πώς και ποιες είναι αυτές οι οργανώσεις και αυτά που είπατε πριν, ότι θα μπορούσαμε να συνεργαστούμε με διάφορες ομάδες για να προχωρήσει το λειτουργικό ζογκλερικό. Γενικότερα θα ήθελα να συνεργαστώ με εσάς, με όλους στην Ελλάδα.
Πού είσαι, Αθήνα?
Είμαι Θεσσαλονίκη τώρα. Έχω καταγωγή από Κατερίνη. Και ήμουν 20 χρόνια Βουδαπέστη. Έκανα σχολή τσίρκο εκεί πέρα. Και από τότε όλα μέσα στα ζογκλερικά. Εκτός από cyber cubes, πώς λέγονται, αυτά τα κουτιά.
Cigar boxes.
Cigar
boxes, ευχαριστώ. Εκτός από αυτά παίζω σχεδόν με όλα.
Ωραία. Από Θεσσαλονίκη θα σε δικτυώσει η Marianthi εδώ πέρα.
Όσο μπορώ,
μακάρι.
Εννοείται.
Είναι
με το καλό.
Η Marianthi στο μονόκυκλο το έχει ξεκινήσει δικό σου, είναι δηλαδή?
Εγώ το έχω ξεκινήσει, αλλά όλα τα χρόνια το τρέχουμε με ομάδα. Εντάξει, εγώ έχω το βασικό συντονισμό, αλλά νομίζω ότι χωρίς ομάδα δεν θα γινόταν τίποτα. Απολύτως.
Εγώ τώρα ψάχνω να βρω μια φάση να διδάξω ζογκλερικά στη Θεσσαλονίκη. Δεν ξέρω άμα χρειάζεστε στο μονόκυκλο κάτι τέτοιο.
Έχουμε κάνει Μαρκέλα, γι' αυτό δεν σου είπα κάτι.
Σίγουρα εγώ θα πήγαινε να δω τι είναι αυτό το μονόκυκλο πρώτα, άμα δεν έχει πάει.
Αλλά έχει έρθει ο Κωνσταντίνος, δεν έχει έρθει.
Ναι, ξέρω πώς.
Εννοείται.
Εντάξει.
Μαζί δεν ήμασταν στο workshop.
Αχ, δεν θυμάμαι. Ή μπήκε και η Τζίνα, γεια σου Τζίνα. Ναι, πάντως σε σχέση με αυτό, έτσι, το να συνδεθούμε περισσότερο, ας πούμε, μέσα στην Ελλάδα για να βγούμε μετά και παραέξω, επειδή και εγώ την είχα έτσι αυτή την, πώς το λένε, αυτή την ανησυχία, ρε παιδί μου, ότι ξέρεις, εδώ μεταξύ μας δεν μπορούμε να συνεργαστούμε, ας πούμε, και ήρθαν άνθρωποι έτσι από Ευρώπη καλή ώρα σε αντίστοιχες συζητήσεις. Ναι, μη σ' ανησυχεί καθόλου. Τις περισσότερες φορές τα πράγματα πάνε παράλληλα. Θέλω να πω ότι υπάρχουν ατομικότητες, θα το πω, δηλαδή υπάρχουν οργανώσεις καλή ώρα που κάνουν πράγματα με Ευρώπη, φέρνουν πράγματα πίσω, μέσα στη χώρα γίνονται συμπράξεις, ξαναβγαίνουν προς τα έξω και όλο αυτό δεν είναι ότι πρέπει να γίνει το ένα για να συμβεί το άλλο, γιατί ήδη συμβαίνει και το ένα και το άλλο. Ούτε το ένα έχει ανάγκη το άλλο, κατάλαβες. Οπότε κάπως είναι μια ωραία ζήμωση. Εγώ έτσι έχω αρχίσει να το βλέπω, ρε παιδί μου, ότι γίνονται πολύ ωραίες ζυμώσεις για το τσίρκο στην Ελλάδα, οι οποίες έρχονται από διάφορες πρωτοβουλίες. Είτε ενδοκοινοτικές, καλή ώρα, ρε παιδί μου, τον Πανελλήνιο Σύλλογο, ελπίζω να τον καταφέρουμε κάποια στιγμή. Υποτίθεται ότι έχει μείνει το πράγμα νομικά στο να τσεκαριστούν τα κείμενα. Είτε και ευρωπαϊκά, όπως έγινε, ας πούμε, το Together, που ήταν, ξέρεις, όλο αυτό έτσι, το αλυσβερίσι, ας πούμε, το ευρωπαϊκό. κάνεις τζινάκι? Εδώ μόνο ελληνικά σε αυτό το video.
Ναι, καλέ, αφού πήγα και λέω τι κάνω. Πολύ καλά. Γεια.
Εδώ, αφού είμαι σε τι κάνουν οι άλλοι στα breakout room, για πες. Εσύ που είσαι
Ναι, μπήκα παντού.
Είμαι σίγουρη ότι είσαι butterfly.
Έτσι για τα fundings, έχει πάει πολύ serious το πράγμα που δεν καταλαβαίνω, πολύ ενδιαφέρον, αλλά έχει πάει πολύ σε organization.
Εκεί θα πάω.
Εκεί, ωραίο ήταν, εντάξει, εγώ πήρα αρκετά έτσι μετά. Στις Βερόνικας λέγανε για το πόσο ωραία ήταν που μπήκε τη σχολή του Κιέβου. Okay. Και εδώ πέρα προσπαθώ να καταλάβω, δεν κατάλαβα τι λέγατε, γιατί δεν το έπιασα από την αρχή, αλλά δεν
Τίποτα. Λένε περί ανέμων και υδάτων λίγο. Λέγαμε, ρε παιδί μου, για το τσίρκο στην Ελλάδα και τις ευρωπαϊκές πρωτοβουλίες κτλ. Μάθανε και ο Κωνσταντίνος λίγο περισσότερο το πώς λειτουργεί το πράγμα. Μας έλεγε τις ιδέες του ο Παναγιώτης για το που στην ουσία εγώ το θεώρησα, ας πούμε, αυτό το πρώτο βήμα που συζητάμε, το να έχεις μια ιδέα και να ψάχνεις για partners. Με τη Λένα επίσης αναρωτηθήκαμε το ότι λέμε για partners, πώς κατά τους βρίσκεις αυτούς τους partners, ας πούμε.
Αυτές τις σελίδες πώς μπορούμε να τις μοιραστούμε μεταξύ μας, έτσι ώστε... Με τους partners. Με τους partners εννοώ, πώς τα βρίσκεις αυτά. Γιατί δεν έχω ιδέα από ηλεκτρονικά πολύ.
Κοίτα, θα το γράψω τώρα αν είναι για να το ρωτήσω στον Μπέντεγκους, αλλά νομίζω ότι ο Μπέντεγκους θα μπορέσει να ανεβάσει το τέτοιο, θα ανεβάσει αυτό που συμβαίνει τέλος πάντων, το webinar, θα ανεβάσει τις παρουσιάσεις και νομίζω ότι μπορούμε να ανεβάσουμε και ένα αρχείο Excel από τους συμμετέχοντες και τους τρόπους επικοινωνίας τους, τα social media τους. Γιατί όταν συμπληρώσατε τη φόρμα, στην ουσία στη φόρμα μέσα είχε, ρε παιδί μου, και πες μας κάποια πράγματα για σένα. Οπότε εκεί αυτομάτως, δηλαδή μόνο από αυτό το webinar, αυτομάτως προκύπτει, ρε παιδί μου, μια φόρμα με 60 συμμετέχοντες, μέσα στους οποίους μπορείς να βρεις πιθανούς partners. Εγώ είδα και παιδιά από Ισπανία, από το Espy de Cirque, που τους ξέρω και τους εκτιμώ πολύ, ήμασταν και παλιοί συνεργάτες. Άτομα από Βέλγιο, ο Γιώνας που έχουν κάνει το Cirque Labo, έχουν ξεκινήσει από το Circus Impedaging, έχουν κάνει τώρα το Cirque Labo που είναι τα αμιγώς καλλιτεχνικά, το Circus Impedaging είναι τα παιδαγωγικά, ας πούμε.
Παρεπτόντως, έστειλα μια αίτηση, μου την απορρίψανε.
Πάνε τώρα, βρες το να. Πάνε τώρα, βρες το να.
Καλά, δεν είναι αυτός, έτσι μπήκε και καλά. Όχι, αυτό εννοώ ότι δεν παρακολουθεί και πολύ. Δεν έχει κάποιο.
Τζίνα, και εσύ Θεσσαλονίκη είσαι?
Εγώ είμαι Βερολίνο. Ήμουνα Θεσσαλονίκη όμως. Ναι, εσύ πού είσαι?
Εγώ είμαι Αθήνα.
Αθήνα. Εντάξει, δεν σας ξέρω.
Πώς σε λένε?
Τζίνα.
Γεια σου Τζίνα, είμαι ο Κώστας.
Γεια σου, χάρηκα.
Και ο κύριος Ζογκλέρ?
Εγώ είμαι ο Παναγιώτης.
Γεια σου, Παναγιώτη.
Ο κύριος Ζογκλέρ.
Τέλεια. Η Χριστίνα μας είπε ότι δεν μπορεί να έχει κάμερα και μικρόφωνο, οπότε έτσι απλά τη...
Γεια σου, Χριστίνα.
Είναι μαζί μας η Χριστίνα.
Απλά είμαστε εκτεθειμένοι.
Ναι, κανονικά.
Παναγιώτη, κάπως θα ήθελα να έρθω σε επικοινωνία μαζί σου μετά από αυτό το Zoom webinario που κάνουμε. Για να σε ρωτήσω μερικά πράγματα με ευκαιρείς περί ζογκλερικών και
Ευχαρίστως. Κάτσε σε ποιο chat να σου λέω.
Στο Messenger, δεν ξέρω.
Όχι, εδώ που είμαστε. Δεν μπορώ τώρα να σου
εδώ υπάρχει.
Ξέρω εγώ.
Εγώ γράφω για να μοιραστούμε τις ατόμων.
Περίμενε.
Για τέτοιο, μιλώντας για...
Δεν βρήκα, ναι.
Τώρα στα αγγλικά, παιδιά.
Τι θες να σου στείλω, το τηλέφωνο μου?
Changi is here.
Ναι, άμα μπορείς να μου στείλεις το τηλέφωνο σου, θα σε πάρω. Τηλέφωνο να μιλήσουμε. Τέλεια.
Okay, I'm just checking the rooms that you are.
Okay, I'm gonna switch back to Greek because I want to say something to Konstantinos that I think is like important. Μιλώντας για καλές συμβουλές, αφού αυτό είναι το group, παιδί μου, έτσι όπως σας ξέρω, πιστεύω ότι η Τζίνα και ο Κωνσταντίνος, επειδή το έχω συζητήσει και με τον Νίκο το Γαρόζη και μπήκαμε μαζί με τον Νίκο το Γαρόζη και είδα κάποια πράγματα, γιατί εγώ δεν είχα ασχοληθεί, το Culture Moves Europe παίζει να είναι το call που σας ταιριάζει. Είπε διάφορα call ο κύριος Gábor. Είπε για European Networks. Σου λέει αυτό, άστο, είναι πολύ μεγάλα, είναι σιρκοστράτα. Είπε για European Platforms. Σου λέει, εντάξει, και αυτό άστο, είναι το Circus Next. Θέλω να πω, είναι πολύ μεγάλα, network. Είναι European Cooperation Projects, που είναι αυτό που κάναμε εμείς με την Βερόνικα, εντάξει, γιατί κάναμε cooperation. Και μετά είναι το Culture Moves Europe και το Perform Europe, που είναι πεντακένουργιο, γιατί λέει ξεκίνησε 1 Δεκέμβρη, οπότε ούτε εγώ ξέρω να σας πω, αλλά θα το μελετήσω. Το Culture Moves Europe, επειδή είναι για ατομικότητες, δεν χρειάζεται να έχεις έναρξη, δεν χρειάζεται να έχεις ΜΚΟ από πίσω, δεν χρειάζεται να έχεις τίποτα. Πιστεύω ότι θα σας ταιριάξει και στους
Είστε
δυο.
σίγουροι? Εγώ κατάλαβα ότι όλα αυτά από αυτόν τον οργανισμό
το είπε.
θέλουν να είσαι
Το
established
Culture Moves
organization.
Europe, επειδή το ψάξαμε με τον Γαρόζη από Πάτρα, το Culture Moves Europe είναι αυτό που μπορείς να είσαι ατομικότητα, ατομικός καλλιτέχνης ή άτυπη ομάδα νέων. Άτυπη ομάδα νέων είναι μέχρι 5 άτομα που δεν έχετε νομική μορφή, εντάξει, και αιτείστε είτε για να πάτε κάπου για residency, είτε για να έρθει κάποιος να κάνει residency σε κάποιο χώρο που δεν είναι απαραίτητο να είναι δικό σας και έχει και αρκετά καλό funding. Ξαναλέω όμως βέβαια και στην ερώτηση που τέθηκε από κάποια άτομα στο chat, αυτά τα προγράμματα δεν είναι για να μας δώσουν τα προστοζή. Δυστυχώς. Θα έπρεπε και θα μπορούσε, αρχής δεδομένης ότι ως καλλιτέχνες δεν έχουμε σταθερά εισοδήματα και, η εμπειρία μου λέει ότι δεν ξέρω πόσα προγράμματα ταυτόχρονα πρέπει να τρέχεις για να μπορέσεις να βιοπορίζεις από αυτά. Το να έχεις το συμπλήρωμά σου, ναι, μπορείς. Δηλαδή να τρέξεις ένα project και να πεις, ρε φίλε, δεν κάνω volunteering, θα το πληρωθώ. Αλλά θα είναι αυτό το project. Θα το τρέξεις για 1 χρόνο, θα το κάνεις part-time, γιατί ταυτόχρονα θα κάνεις και τα υπόλοιπά σου. Εντάξει, και θα έχεις, ρε παιδί μου, το εξτραδάκι, ας πούμε, εμένα αυτή είναι η εμπειρία. Αλλά για 1 εξάμηνο ή για ό,τι είναι, ρε παιδί μου, έτσι, research project, ειδικά αυτά που κάνεις εσύ, Τζίνα, το Culture Moves Europe, εμένα μου φαίνεται για σένα κουτί.
Θα το δω.
Αυτό, δηλαδή, από όλα αυτά, εγώ θα κρατούσα το Culture Moves Europe. Και παίζει να το κοιτάξω κι εγώ, γιατί κάπως, ρε παιδί μου, αυτή τη στιγμή μου φαίνεται πολύ πιο βατό. Δηλαδή, ξέρεις, εγώ εντάξει...
Και για μένα το ίδιο προτείνεις,
Ναι,
Marianthi.
σίγουρα, Κωνσταντίνε. Σίγουρα. Κάτσε να μελετήσεις
έχασα το σήμα, δεν έχω καλό στο σπίτι.
Κάτσε να μελετήσεις το Culture Moves Europe, γιατί πιστεύω, ρε παιδί μου, ότι θα σου δώσει αυτό που ζητάς, το ότι δεν χρειάζεται να έχεις δικιά σου οργάνωση, δεν χρειάζεται να έχεις έναρξη.
Ναι, δεν έχω καμία οργάνωση, καμία έναρξη. Μπορείς να μου στείλεις παρακαλώ στα ελληνικά αυτό το...
Θα βρω λίγο... Ναι, γενικά θα σας στείλω τώρα έτσι, εμείς που μιλάμε τέλος πάντων, μπορώ να στείλω και τον οδηγό του Creative Europe στα ελληνικά, το μεγάλο του PDF, ας πούμε, που λέγαμε, και φαντάζομαι ότι θα έχει μέσα και το Culture Moves Europe, θα έχει όλα τα καλέσματα. Γιατί είπαμε ότι στα πλαίσια του
που έκανε
Creative...
ο Gábor θα μας τη στείλετε.
Ναι. Είπε ο Μπέντεγκους ότι θα στείλει όλα. Στο email, στα email έρχονται, ναι.
Τέλεια.
Έρχονται στα email μας.
Εντάξει, αυτό είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό που ανέφερες μόλις τώρα, γιατί και εμείς έχουμε μια κολεκτίβα, βασικά ανήκω σε μια κολεκτίβα, που έχουμε 3 χρόνια με δράσεις, αλλά δεν έχουμε νομική υπόσταση. Και δεν ήξερα καν ότι υπάρχει δυνατότητα και για ομάδες, άτυπες ομάδες. Άρα θα το ψάξω κι εγώ.
Με έβαλε λίγο ο Νίκος ο Γαρόζης να το δούμε. Και με το που μπήκα και το είδα, εγώ δεν το έψαξα παραπάνω, γιατί εμάς, ρε παιδί μου, η κατεύθυνσή μας είναι περισσότερο για cooperation σε επίπεδο οργανώσεων πλέον. Δηλαδή, εγώ, ας πούμε, ακόμα και η προσωπική μου προτεραιότητα, καλώς ή κακώς δεν είναι να κάνω κάτι προσωπικά καλλιτεχνικό, ρε παιδί μου, αλλά είναι κάτι, τέλος πάντων, έτσι, που να αφορά όλη την οργάνωση. Αλλά έτσι όπως μπήκα και το είδα, αυτό είπα και στον Νίκο, ότι είναι πολύ καλή ευκαιρία αν θες να τρέξεις κάτι, όπως είπε και ο Gábor, έτσι, low level, με την έννοια, ρε παιδί μου, ότι ξέρεις κάτι, ρε παιδί μου, χειροπιαστό, απλό, να μην πρέπει να μπλέκεις με νομικές μορφές, με δεν ξέρω εγώ τι. Έχεις μια ιδέα, θες να δεις ποια άλλα άτομα στην Ευρώπη ασχολούνται με την ιδέα σου. Ή τέλος πάντων, εγώ ας πούμε, αν θα το σκεφτόμουν το Culture Moves Europe, θα το σκεφτόμουν σε προσωπικό επίπεδο γιατί έχω ξεκινήσει wall dance. Και γενικά, ρε παιδί μου, το βρίσκω ένα κάλεσμα για να ξαναβγώ επί σκηνής, είχα και καιρό να βγω. Οπότε, μέσω του Culture Moves Europe, σκεφτόμουν, ρε παιδί μου, ότι ξέρεις, ένα σαν προσωπικό project, να δουλέψω εγώ με κάποιους καλλιτέχνες, ας πούμε, που θα ήθελα, που ασχολούνται με το wall dance και να παράξουμε κάτι κατά τη διάρκεια της συνύπαρξής μας. Οπότε γι' αυτό έλεγα και για την Τζίνα, ρε παιδί μου, γιατί ξέρω ότι πειραματίζεται με πράγματα. Οπότε, αν ξέρει άτομα που υπάρχουν στην Ευρώπη, μπορεί να κινήσει μια τέτοια διαδικασία. Ή και μόνοι.
Εμείς στις δύο βασικά κολεκτίβες που ανήκω, τη μία ανήκει και ο Στέλιος βασικά, παίζει να σου έχει μιλήσει για την Artnet.
Α, βέβαια,
ναι. Είμαστε μαζί, το ξεκινήσαμε 6 μέλη και τώρα έχει μεγαλώσει. Απλά στην άλλη, με το χώρο που έχουμε ένα δίκτυο συνεργατών. Δηλαδή έχουμε συμμετάσχει σε collaborations, αλλά άτυπα, πίσω από άλλες νομικές υποστάσεις που συνεργαζόμαστε, δηλαδή με το Juan το Corrales, στην Ισπανία με οργανισμούς. Απλά, δηλαδή στα 2 χρόνια βασικά δραστηριοποίησης, 3 χρόνια το έχουμε ξεκινήσει, δεν έχουμε κάνει ακόμα νομική υπόσταση. Είμαστε να προχωρήσουμε σε μια μη κερδοσκοπική, γιατί είναι μη κερδοσκοπικό το εγχείρημα. Απλά μας σταμάτησαν κάποιες προσωπικές δυσκολίες που λέγαμε με το να βρεις τρόπο να το κάνεις βιώσιμο όλο αυτό, τέλος πάντων. Άρα δηλαδή έχουμε ένα networking, απλά δεν έχουμε, δηλαδή θα μας τέριαζε και το, πώς λέγεται το άλλο πρόγραμμα, το
European Cooperation Project.
Ναι, αλλά εκεί χρειάζεται, από ό,τι κατάλαβα, να έχεις τη νομική υπόσταση.
Εκεί χρειάζεται legal entity.
Ναι. Απλά να ρωτήσω λίγο κάτι για διευκρίνηση. Εκεί μόνο η χώρα που είναι coordinator, ο οργανισμός που είναι coordinator χρειάζεται να έχει 2 χρόνια που έχει τη νομική υπόσταση με δράσεις. Δηλαδή, εγώ άμα κάνω... Συγγνώμη, τι είπες, Μαριάνθη?
Δεν το γνωρίζω.
Νομίζω αυτό έγραφε, θα το διευκρινίσω σε ένα... Μπράβο. Γιατί
το είπε και πριν σε ένα τέτοιο. Αν είσαι coordinator, πρέπει
λέω.
Να έχεις 2 χρόνια τέτοιο. Αν είσαι απλώς participant, ναι, δεν μας ενδιαφέρει. Ναι, και επίσης μπορείς να μην έχεις εσύ... sorry, να σου πω, επειδή ήμουν στο άλλο chat πριν. Μπορείς να μην είσαι εσύ established organization, αλλά να συνεργαστείς με κάποιον και να πεις θέλω να κάνω αυτό και να κάνω αυτή την αίτηση και χρειάζομαι κάποιον οργανισμό για να κάνω apply from this και πρέπει απλά να σε προσλάβουν για εκείνη την περίοδο ο οργανισμός αυτός. Δηλαδή δεν αρκεί απλά να βρεις κάποιον, πρέπει να είσαι.
Εσύ, Σοφία, πού βρίσκεσαι?
Θεσσαλονίκη.
Κανείς δεν είναι στην Αθήνα.
Αθήνα,
δεν υπάρχει τίποτα εδώ πέρα.
Την αγαπάω για λίγο την Αθήνα, μετά από μεγάλο χρονικό διάστημα δεν μπορώ από την υπερπληροφορία.
Εγώ είμαι εδώ πέρα μόνιμο θύμα της. Θα πάω λίγο στον Gábor και ελπίζω να σας προλάβω πριν το διαλύσετε εδώ πέρα.
Το παρεάκι.
Ναι.
Λένα, έρχεσαι από κάπου αλλού, από κάποιο άλλο breakout room, να μας πεις τα νέα?
Ναι, πήγα λίγο στις Βερόνικα.
Για πες.
Και νομίζω ότι ήταν εκεί αυτά τα 2 παιδιά που έψαχνες.
Α, μπράβο.
Σε ερωτήσεις, μπράβο. Και ρωτούσαν και αυτοί πιο πολύ για το οικονομικό, ότι δεν είναι λίγο, πώς το λένε, αμφίβολο το αν τελικά θα το λάβεις και τι γίνεται με τη δουλειά που έχεις καταλάβει, θα τα πάρει ήδη κτλ. Αλλά εντάξει, η αλήθεια είναι ότι...
Πού είναι?
Τι να του πούνε, θέλω να πω ότι έτσι είναι τα πράγματα. Ναι, μπορεί να απορριφθεί, μπορεί να σου φύγουν οι partners, μπορεί να γίνουν πολλά σε διάμεσο.
Ναι, είναι αυτό που σας είπα και εγώ για τα downsides. Δεν μπορεί να σου προσφέρει η Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή κάποιο είδους εξασφάλιση σε αυτό. Αν αφιερώσεις το χρόνο που είναι να αφιερώσεις και τελικά η πρότασή σου δεν εγκριθεί.
Ναι, δεν γίνεται.
Επίσης, το αν εν τέλει προκύψει περισσότερη δουλειά από αυτή που περίμενες, είναι εμπειρία για την επόμενη πρόταση. Θέλω να πω...
Έχει να κάνει μάλλον με τη δική σου οργάνωση.
Ναι, φεύγουμε.
So we are all back. And I would like to give a couple of minutes or a chance for that if any of you has something to share in this plenary format, like what you could learn or you have as a feeling about, or just like a aha effect, please share it with us before the film.
Yes, I was talking to Marianthi earlier. And hello, I'm Panagiotis. I'm from Athens, Greece. I am a juggler. I have a business here since 20 years now. And after all the, experience with the shows and events, etc., I would really like to move towards teaching and training, juggling mostly. And what I'm thinking of doing, and I've got the equipment, went to the functional juggling seminar anyway, and I have two things in my mind. First, address institutions like you can fund educational programs concerning juggling in other institutions for people that have, like blind people or refugees or, people with difficulties anyway. And that's one part, find funding for that. And the other part is do juggling training like a team building activity in corporate environment, like in companies that want to do it for their employees, etc. So I was wondering if we could, if there's anybody interested in doing that in a European level, not just, in a country level. So that's my idea.
We are always happy to enter collaborations. You can count on the Hungarian Juggling Association and Inspira definitely. And the good news for you that we are actually about functional juggling. We are creating now a network, so you can enter that as well. And probably we're gonna also present some project how we in March, how we can also support in each country the growth of functional juggling. So we will think about you for sure.
Great. How can we get in touch for that? The network.
I think as soon as there will be the project idea, we usually just send it out and then we're gonna send it to you as well. I will remember, and also is getting now set up a networking platform in many languages because Mark Billert from Germany is very good in all the high-tech things. So he's created already a platform about functional juggling, which is going to be ready or maybe is already online. I think when it's ready or I know about it, I can also inform you. And then on the platform, it's exactly for people to meet about different topics and create networking on about the topic of functional juggling.
Great, thanks.
Welcome.
So I would like to share something. A week after we came back from Vesprem, we have a conversation with Marianthi, and I said, okay, Marianthi, withdrawal symptoms are starting to appear. So come on, what's next? What's next? What will come next? So we'll have to find the next step. And I'm looking at you, Veronika, because you are the master, the guru.
Yes, actually, this project we have to finish first. I mean, for you guys as an artist, you went home. Still, we continue on like reporting and closing the project, which is an essential part. And this moment, what we are doing now about like dissemination, which is a keyword in European projects. So we try to give on all the results, and there is going to be very important information in January. You will be all informed and invited. We're gonna have a second webinar, which is more about the artistic results of Together projects. So we're gonna talk more about inspirational artistical things. And so we first wanna conclude this. And also we have to remember that 23 of January is the deadline for Creative Europe for the next one. Whoever feels like being prepared with a project idea, I think for sure is possible to work on it. And also there is another Creative Europe finally next year, which is not commonly happens, but I think in October or November, there is a second deadline. And there is always the small scale partnerships. Maybe you can be coordinate, Nicholas, and I can be the partner.
Yes, I'm not speaking as an artist only. I would like to participate as a partner also. I don't know if I have the guts and the know-how to lead in a project. Yeah, I would like to be part of this.
Yes, and we love you, so you're gonna be.
Just to add something what Veronika said, that the deadline, yes, next year and every year there will be a cooperation project deadline. Every year during the 7 years there is a cooperation project deadline. And this year, as I mentioned, we have only small and medium scale, but next year we have small, medium, and also larger scale cooperation projects as well. But it's a different deadline, so it's a next year's deadline. So every year we have just one deadline for cooperation projects. Okay, you know, it depends on usually between the publication and the deadline of the call is usually 3 months maximum. But of course, if you only want to use this 3 months for preparing your application and your project and the consortia and everything, it's not enough. So please prepare and as was already mentioned, have enough time to prepare everything. So basically, if you feel that you will miss the January deadline, please prepare for the next one. Okay? Thank you. And one more thing that I think I didn't mention this, but with Perform Europe, the consortia that now implements Perform Europe made also a very good tool for partner search and matchmaking tool. So please also check that out if you would like to be in international cooperations. Because I think it when it was showed to us, it's like, wow, it's a very useful tool, a very good IT tool to basically to be able to design your whole project, like from very broad designing to very detailed designing of your project as well. So have a look at that as well. And thank you very much.
And Gábor, can you say again the name of that program which is financing also the individual residency and mobility of the artists, because Sean was asking for it?
Yes, it's Culture Moves Europe. And if you have my presentation, I think you will have the direct link to the Culture Moves Europe, the European Commission's website, and from the European Commission's website you can easily reach the calls. I mean the individual mobility call and the residency call as well.
Excellent, thanks a lot. Maybe one small comment before we start the movie. Anybody feels like sharing, proposing? it looks like everybody wants to see the film we have. So I think this is the moment to say goodbye also, because maybe after the movie we just not gonna be back together. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for our presenters, Gábor, Marianthi, Nina. Thank you for your partnership, for your love, for your contribution, or for your active participation, all of you. And please remember, in January, we are going to be back with the Together webinar also to talk about the artistic results of the Together project. So that's going to be more artistical, inspirational on that way. So Marianthi, maybe you have something for saying goodbye, Nina, or any of the presenters before we start the film?
Thank you all for being here, and see you around.
Yes, and also from my side, thank you for being so enthusiastic, and please keep that enthusiasm, because there were a lot of really important things that you mentioned in your presentations, and the main message I would like to give is to emphasize that really, if you have to love your project, you have to be very connected to your project, or else it won't be. Of course, you could lose yourself in the words, in the wordings, in the jargon of the call, but the main thing is that you are able to very concretely define what you would like to do, and be enthusiastic about it, and then hopefully you will succeed. Thank you.
A technical question to Ben the Goose. People from my breakout room asked where and how could we have the contacts of all the people of this webinar, and how can we share it with them, because they thought it's a really good start for networking.
I think we can create an email. Sorry, Ben the Goose, to answer your name. I think we just create an email with the links and presentations and send it to all of you guys, and then you can continue.
Yeah, because we have the registration form, and if I so everybody has its email, so we can send to everybody. And
but how will they know who is who? I thought maybe we could share the question from the application form, share something about yourselves, because there we have websites, we have social media. How could we share that?
We can have a short discussion on this after the meeting,
perfect.
and find out how to serve the best everybody, to find each other. It's gonna be also on our websites, maybe the photos, and we made a beautiful group picture, and many people has their name on it. So it's already kind of a Facebook. And yeah, so this is the big moment, the premiere of the first version of the last version of the movie of Together film. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. I literally was crying when I saw it the first time, being so emotional, and after all what we live together and see it again, I hope it will be visible how much we loved it, how much it was great to be together. So please enjoy it. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for the support of European Union program of Creative Europe, and thanks for you guys to be with us. Let's be together.